Oh shit, let me get. I'm in on this.
Can you address me at least, yeah? No. What the guy's claiming...
Do you believe in the article?
I don't, but that's why I'm asking him. He's saying he does, and I would like someone like that's from his team to clarify it and say no. And he just say no for the camera, innit? And say for the camera, we don't believe that. Can you say that?
No, I'm telling you.
Can you say it?
Because what you're doing is now, you're falling into this guy's trap. Yeah? So what he's doing is he's coming and giving this thing, like, building the hype. Yeah? And you're going to come up to me.
That's Kalam's one. Kalam come and took off my battery dead, innit? Yeah. Oh, this one's live again now. We live.
Middlesex in the building.
Middlesex camp. Check Kalam.
Okay, for me, one second, for me, for the camera, can you say to the camera that you're against child marriage?
Oh shit.
Can you say that?
What's going on?
I'm against child marriage.
Careful of pressing the button.
I'm asking you to say it loud and proud, please.
I'm going to say it for you, for your brother. We do not believe in that. Islam doesn't believe in that, and the article debunks it. So the dogs keep barking and the
Kalam, you're done.
That's not true, bro. That's not true. The article tells you.
But the guy said he don't believe in that right now.
Ask him. Because, ask him, is it okay to marry 11-year-olds in another country? Ask him. So ask him though. We don't agree with it.
He's saying of course though.
Ask him if an 11-year-old... Stop. If any question, okay. If an 11-year-old has had a period, can they marry? An 11-year-old that has their period, can you marry her? Ask him.
He said no.
No, ask him. An 11-year-old that has her period, can you marry? Ask him. No.
I instead it off.
Specifically. Specifically, because.
But it's not a hard question to answer.
No, the question is,
Ali, it's not a hard question. Stop doing this as a Muslim, bro. It's not a hard question to answer. The man's asking me, is it okay? Just say no, innit? Say no. Say it happens, but it's not allowed. Say that, bro. Yes, but he's saying you didn't say it again. Say it properly.
Why say that?
No one's saying you're okay. You're your own man, brother. I'm saying he has a following and he's showing this to the
He has no following.
Eve, what he's saying. So you can clarify.
God is clown. Even his own people know he's a clown. Yes? Have some respect.
I respect you.
Respect.
Have some respect. Oh, shit. Respect. One second. I'm just need to fix it up.
Yeah, and that was it himself. We burn fire upon that, yeah? So if any... In the room,
I said no one better. Man, don't burn fire on it, G. Don't lay it.
So your point then.
Don't lay it twisted, G. Have you not read the article? Have you read the article? You don't need to go read the article. Go read the article.
There's a hadith, yeah? A woman went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, my dad wants me to marry my cousin, yeah? And then am I allowed to say no? And then he said, am I allowed to say no, yeah? And then the Prophet Muhammad said, you are allowed to say no. If you don't want to marry the person, you don't have to marry him. She said, because you said this, now I will marry him. Because I know that I've got freedom, innit? So the woman has got freedom in the Muslim. If she doesn't want to marry someone, she don't have to marry him. I'm against forced marriages in that. You get me? A woman got freedom to marry whoever she wants. So whoever's forcing marriage on someone, that's wrong. Islam does not accept that. I just wanted to say that.
Hey, listen, yeah? This is a real Arab Muslim, yeah? Turn your back to the camera, Yalla. You don't need to be on the camera for this, but come, so you lot can know. Say what you said to me before.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
What are you saying? What are you doing, Shaitan? He said, stop whispering. Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. You're whispering. Allow it, G. Come on, G. Hey, what are we saying? My brother's gonna say it. Hey, don't put his face on the camera, but he's bad enough to say it. Why not? Why not, G? Come on, man. Hey, yo. My brother, look, the camera's on me. It's not facing anybody else, yeah? Repeat what you said to me earlier on. About the marriages of a 9-year-old or 11-year-old in Yemen.
No, not 9-year-old.
Okay, 11-year-old. Yeah, 11-year-old.
They marry them. That's the law.
So in Yemen, you can marry a girl as long as she's 11 years old.
Not 11 years old.
What age?
When she becomes a woman.
At what age? So let's say let's say an 11-year-old has a period, right? Is she of marriageable age?
That's their law. They're allowed that.
In their law, it's allowed. You know what? Can I shake your hand for that? Can I shake your hand for that? At least someone here can actually be like real and say, yes, this is what happens.
What's wrong with that?
That is exactly. Stand on it, man.
You know.
Don't be an Ali Dawah and try to beat around the bush and run away from it. Stand strong.
But the
I
mentality
love
there
that.
is different.
You've got most viewers.
At 12 years old, they drive cars.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, they drive cars.
Yeah.
You can't drive cars at 12.
Yeah.
It's a different culture. They're more older there, more mature.
Hey, don't worry about that, G. Don't worry about that yet. All my subscribers, when this is finished, go over into COE, B. Come on, B. We're all one, B. We're all one family out here. Come on. Jeez. What about in Africa? It happens in Africa as well.
Yeah, influence. It's not just Muslims.
I already said my message. Big up Anjib Chowdhury, he's been freed. Allahu Akbar. Big him up. Going inside. Anjib's just come out. Free all the brothers in Belmont, Wandsworth, Pentonville.
All the Muslims will be freed, inshallah. Walk in the streets.
Hey, you man, what would you say if Tony Robinson turned Muslim? Well, that's what I do. What?
What?
What would you say if Tony Robinson turned Muslim in prison?
If he turns Muslim and
You
becomes...
know what, yeah? If I heard that, I'll be like, raw, times are changing.
If he becomes Muslim, we will embrace him, no problem.
Exactly.
And his past sins will be
It'd
forgiven.
be a shock though, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be a shock. Don't expect that.
Because we had enemies of Islam in the past and embraced Islam.
You see Anjib Chowdhury, yeah? Anjib Chowdhury spent 2.5 years in jail and he comes out, he's still smiling. What did he go to jail for? Why was he in jail? False charges, isn't there? False charges. Inviting support for terrorist
Support for proscribed organizations. Islamic State.
But you see, they say there's a video of him pledging allegiance. Check all the video archives. That video don't exist. It's a fabrication. The man's a trained lawyer, and the day before he went on trial, he said to Sky News, "I know hand on heart, I have not broken the law." And if that was true, I'd have been in jail a long time ago. But you know, obviously, the law only applies in this country selectively when it chooses the beliefs and the government.
They've got one law for Muslims and one law for the disbelievers. So that's how it is, isn't it? But inshallah, the tide will turn, innit? And the Muslims will be gained the upper hand.
What you're all on about, Anjib Chowdhury,
He's got locked up for, what was it again?
Well, there's a false allegation of inviting
non-Muslims have the same treatment as the
I'm the Sharia, yeah? If you man take charge, do the non-Muslims have the same treatment as the Muslims?
Not saying he was, I'm just saying something.
Are we going to be slaves?
It won't be the same, like...
Is it going to be like slavery 2.0?
No, they will have distinct clothing.
How do you make the black power link up with the white power?
Pardon?
It's going to be slavery 2.0.
No, I'm not going to be slavery. They'll be slavery.
Distinct clothing,
Yeah, they'll be distinct from us.
but we've already got distinct clothing.
No, but
We wear Versace and shit.
but they have to wear clothing that's distinct to them so that we will know that they're not Muslims, innit? So, and they'll be paying us jizya and we give them protection. Huh?
We already wear distinct clothes from Muslims. Man wears some religions, laughing and shit. Muslims don't really wear
That's not right. To do with these organisations like terror.
You can get locked up.
No, what I'm saying is,
It's got Adidas and checks on top of it.
who me?
And a different hat, you get me.
Somebody else comes up.
Exactly. What do you mean by different clothing?
Huh?
What do you mean by different clothing? And free speech.
No, clothing that we can identify that they are not Muslims like us, innit? So So just any type of clothing in it, and also I think some scholars mentioned that they will have a band or something like that. Some type of
Branding.
no, a band, isn't it?
A brand. Talk to me like I'm the phone.
This bright light is in my face, man.
I'm gonna show them.
Kind of like the merchant of Venice. You know how?
Get me.
How much are you gonna charge jizya?
Yeah. So how did you link up with Ali Charlie? How did you meet him?
Time ago.
Yeah. But how?
Yes, what?
How did you meet him?
It was through a Dell stores, innit? Brothers were giving down.
How did you become Muslim?
It was.
Sorry, that's a good question still.
What about Islam made you want to be a Muslim?
Islam is the truth, innit? I'm convinced about it.
But so was you a Christian before?
I was Christian. I was raised Christian, yeah.
Yeah. You got a Christian family and all that.
I got Christian family members, yeah. And my mum is a reaper as well. So.
But then how did you leave Christianity?
I was through dawah of my father.
From your father?
Yeah.
So your dad's Muslim? So he was just saying to you, telling me about Islam?
Yeah. He invited us to Islam and we were accepted.
Maybe it's just your fault. He's trying to make.
What'd you say?
You're linking up the challenge.
With who?
Angela, you say you're going to link up with
I don't know, man.
No comment.
I don't know. Yeah, it's got conditions in it.
I don't think I'm banned from seeing him.
You're not banned from seeing him?
I'm known, but I'm not known.
to be one, innit? They don't claim that you're one.
Well, they have already.
You're
Yeah.
saying that you're a terrorist?
They think I am, yeah.
So how did you become a Muslim? Was your family like Christian or
Yeah, they're
atheist
Christian.
or
Christian.
Yeah. So when you grew up, what made you want to become a Muslim?
That's a long story,
Yeah,
man.
go on, explain.
No, I'm gonna go home soon. Like,
I've got time.
That's
man.
gonna take-
it's gonna take me like 4 hours.
It's not gonna take 4 hours.
4 hours getting blinded by this light, man.
I want to cool it off now. Cool it off.
I'll tell you what we do, yeah? If you turn the other way around, yeah, you man will be in this light and that light will be in your face. Yes, then you can
Bro, that's even worse. No, there's two lights.
yeah, I'll turn this light off in it.
But still, it's a long story though. It would take me like 4 hours to explain.
It's an interesting story, innit? Like, everyone's interested in you, innit?
Yeah. The light's too strong, man.
Now, so what are you saying though, bro? Man's dash the light off, innit?
Yeah.
What happens if the beef thing happens? Do you fight your family?
Who, me? I don't have beef with my family. I have love and respect for my family.
I'm saying if a religious dispute started now, remember the issue that Muslims and non-Muslims were in the Europe.
Yeah.
What would your situation be with the European system of states, the rules for this country?
Can I just say something quickly on that point?
Yeah, give me some questions.
Believers or followers.
Right now we've got believers.
Because you don't. I don't believe you have to actually be a full Muslim. You can still follow the Quran as well.
Why we need the whole
Without actually observing
we
all
don't.
the practices to start with. Otherwise, how can you become a?
Islam means submission to God. You don't pick and choose. You know.
No, it's not about picking and choosing. I mean, how do you go on to know that you would want to become a Muslim unless first of all you become a follower of the book? In there, it's written follower of the
So
book.
before I accepted Islam, like properly, there was like a few months where actually I believed in Islam. Anyway. Is that what you're saying?
But I'm like, you can still be, in my view of people I've spoken to overseas in Arabia and stuff, you can sort of. One said to me, it's stated that to be a Christian is as good as to be a Muslim because you just follow the same one true God.
Yo,
I need to get this one.
He was lying to you, mate. He just wanted to.
Well, this light is finishing me.
It was a scholar of religion.
Really?
Yeah.
And he said, because
He said it, and he opened the Quran up, and
hold on.
it said,
I need to get a quick video with my brother in quickly. Brother, can you come in real quickly?
well, I can't see where am
I
I?
just need to get him in quickly. He needs to just.
All right. Am I in the way? Sorry.
Earlier on, there was a little conversation about something. Sugar. Hold on. Hey yo. Oh, we saying that. Hey. You want that? Oh, the article. Hey, yeah, the article.
Yeah.
Oh. See, the brother done the research, you know. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a quotation from the article, right? We can discuss it and then analyze it, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Which
cool.
version? Which version?
Hey, Saeed.
It's the original article.
Where's
isn't it?
Hijab?
Yeah,
He's here.
that's what I mean because there's
I went to Egypt first.
No.
Yeah? As soon as I
It's
saw
an
this,
article.
yeah,
No, scripture.
Oh, it's an article.
Kalam straight away. I was gonna message you, yeah. Look, hold on. As soon as I saw that,
All right. Are we good to go?
I thought to myself, like, I was gonna message you.
Oh no, we'll discuss that later. We're just doing this article. We're doing Muhammad Hijab's article.
Yep. So
Let's do this.
it goes from a usuli perspective. Harm can either be physical, psychological, or monetary. These categories are determined by the cultural norms of a particular time. Since harm is dependent on time and place, and psychological harm of a 9-year-old today is different from nearly 14 centuries ago, the Islamic ruling would therefore be different. It could be said that the union with preteens is forbidden or haram unless the legal landscape shifts back to pre-1929. And then at the end of the article, or towards the end, it says, thus, it is not in the interest of Muslims to break the long hand of the law in Britain or any other Western country, not only because of the harms that might accrue from this, but also because of the general Islamic impermissibility of going against the law.
So I beg you just summarize that because I don't know how that's going to go over anybody's head.
The way I'm interpreting that is that the only thing holding individuals from marrying preteens is what the law in a particular country is at that time. But if the law shifts back to a certain landscape, in this case pre-1929, then suddenly all bets are off.
So is this saying that basically religion is saying point to man-made laws?
The legal climate shifts back to 1929.
Yeah, but nowhere in a religion does it say that you're bound to man-made laws, does it? It says this is the law. God said this is the law in the book.
That's right.
Not to reference what somebody else wrote up in different, just because it is better for society. I don't agree that young children should be married off. My own understanding is, from what I have been told overseas, was Muhammad took a child under his wing not to have sex with, but the only way he could do it was to be married to that child, and didn't have sex until much later or something like that. Don't know how true that is because it wasn't necessarily.
I guess from my issue, the problem was that there was a lot of verbose language but not necessarily a denunciation of it. It was a comparison of, hey, what about these guys over here? What about these religions, X, Y, and Z, rather than saying whether or not this thing is wrong. Yeah. So there's moral relativism that's being employed here, and a new fallacy that I haven't seen before, the fallacy of presenteeism. But I guess the problem that I have necessarily is that, okay, if something is morally right for all times and places, then you can't necessarily claim that we're being fallacious, because we're saying this thing from our perspective now is wrong. Is wrong, right?
So I just think physically, even then and now, physically, we
exactly.
all know a grown man with a girl or a child.
Exactly.
Like that.
And just because it was practiced in Western societies, that doesn't make it right.
But the thing is, Muhammad, as I understand it, had other wives at the time. So he had certain amount of respect for a grown, developed wife, women with probably children, right?
Yeah.
So do people believe, I don't want to believe, that a man who's got respect for his grown wives, who have probably got children, would then just go, yeah, I want a 9-year-old now, when, you know, he's got wives. They wouldn't put up with that. And his wife's children, they wouldn't put up with that, would they?
For me, there's a conflict. Because on one hand, you're saying we can't use the standards of today in order to kind of critique what was happening in the past.
I wasn't actually getting anywhere near that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So,
I'm not comparing the two, no.
I agree with that. But the problem is, if you then say that a particular book is good for all times and places and peoples, then there's a contradiction between
I didn't even go between religions. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. All I'm saying is, from my view, the big question has been 9-year-old getting married to Muhammad. And am I wrong that is a big problem for everybody to understand? In my view, he was already married to several women properly, and that was accepted that these were women, and he probably had kids with their children with those women. Yes. Now, for him to take a 9-year-old as a wife, that's a massive check.
Kalim, you're not listening. You lot, no, brother, don't give me that. In Islam, he's a man, yes? Just okay, hold on. No, stop. I'm saying to you, I love Isa. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
If you talk him up, you're going to sleep in the sofa.
But I'm not going to talk him up, brother. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm drawing attention to how, if I said the same things he said, I'm going to headbutt you, I'm going to do this. All of a sudden,
but you got to be the
no, listen to what I'm saying to you. All of those that want to criticize me and tell me how Sunni this, Sunni that. Even if I say Sunni this, I don't go to Sunni and say, I'll headbutt you, I'm going to thump you up. This guy's saying that, and no Sunnis are telling the man to shut up. Do you understand? And then you're telling me he's a youngster. Exactly, so then you elder Sunnis should counsel him. Do you get me?
I'm Sunni, I believe I supported him, and I correct him. So what do you mean?
This is what I'm saying. Every time this guy here.
What I just told the brother, I tell him before I left, I said, bro, have manners, don't swear. And speak.
I keep telling the guy, don't
when I
talk to
come
me.
back, they're fighting. That's what I'm telling the brother now. Stop doing that. So don't say that. I'm going to tell them.
You see me, yeah? I just
Control your emotions. You can
keep him away.
Uncle, خلاص, Uncle is older than you. Keep him away.
Stay away.
Keep him away. All the respect the Ajlis, that's what Muhammad is for himself.
If you watch the video, yeah? Remember the EDL come down, there was a massive line between the two.
Okay,
The police were holding this lot back, and the police were holding this lot back. He was right on the other side of the police, so the Muslims are on one side, yeah? And he was still taunting the EDL, and he hadn't converted yet. I'm saying to you, he was still a Sikh.
But let's not put him down.
Pay attention. I'm saying to you, he's not a Muslim yet, and the issue is not with Sikhism. How is he still a Sikh, provoking them to fight Muslims? Because he can now run out, and then they fight Muslims.
I can't speak for him.
Brother, I'm talking, it's on video, bruv. He's still there goading them. Who's going to get the backlash? They don't know if he's Muslim or Sikh. And then he converts. And I'm saying this guy's always on this hype thing. Do you understand? I'm saying, how is this little idiot trying to police my conversation? How is he going to police my conversation?
Talk from there so the camera can pick you up, innit?
I know brothers here for years, but this little so-called convert to Islam would like to police my conversation and tell me what to talk about.
Let him address it. Let him address it.
Come then, let him address it.
Let him address from there. We can hear it.
Wherever, he can go up there in front of the camera or not.
He don't want to come on
camera. He don't have to come on camera as long as he can hear what he's got to say.
This guy came to me on 2 separate occasions. I can see what I want to. If he comes to me in my face and
you came to me. You came to me. I
can say anything.
Here you go.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
He's lying. Bring that close. Bring that close. Bring that close.
And everyone sees you just really a representative of Islam.
So what are you here for?
When your brothers are telling you,
This guy's telling me about Salafis promoting the Saudi government, bro.
I was saying that. Bro, this guy's...
I've been getting upset.
He that's the subject he was talking about. He was bringing it up.
This guy's the first guy to say I'm a Shia.
Yeah, you were bringing it up.
Brother, no, I was bringing it up. That was a conversation. Someone else said... Right, no. Let me explain something to you. A Sunni said to me, who we previously had arguments, he says, we can be at peace so long as you are against the Saudi government. That's a Sunni that said that to me. And then I said about the Salafis.
You sure it wasn't a takfiri you said?
Where is he? Brother, he's a Pakistani brother. Where is he? But I'm just saying.
What did these Pakistanis say?
Uncle slapped the chair away quick. He said the same thing. There was bear man there. As long as I don't support it, that's what he said.
No, I said I'll fight against
Yeah, man got shy.
The Pakistani brother said to me and him are cool as long as I don't
Let me just address the camera. They asked us to come fight that war in Yemen. We tell them go ban out, man. My army ain't there. We couldn't fuck
Oh
off,
no,
bro.
it's, what is he? No, let's not
What
get
is it? Hey, listen, you know I've already been written off.
But anyway, I'll give you my view, innit?
Okay,
They told my army to go
Yeah,
to
go on.
Yemen and fight against the Yemeni
Who's
people,
your army?
Pakistan. And we told them, no, we're not doing that. So we told them that.
wow.
the
Man's
Saudi.
big nationalist, you know.
We know the predominant view of Ahlul Sunnah with regards to talking to the leaders, yeah, and it's not permissible. It's not permissible to speak to it's not permissible to speak about the Muslim ruler in public, yeah, because it leads to mafsada, it leads to more corruption.
Oh, rebelling.
Huh? Yeah,
Rebelling.
yeah. So it's not permissible to call to rebelling or khuruj, which is called against the Muslim leader.
Right.
However, yeah, just because I don't advocate speaking out in public about their actions doesn't mean I approve of them either.
I agree.
Yeah, I vehemently disapprove of their actions.
If we don't speak out in public,
no.
how are we going to
Brother,
stop this?
I hear, brother, listen to what I'm saying. That isn't the issue. Brother, that's not the
You
issue.
can't fight military force by speaking on YouTube. That doesn't help
If
you.
we cause awareness of the world,
What he's trying to say is,
slowly it's going
if
to
you,
stop them.
he's saying,
People don't know. The people
Yeah,
know.
but maybe people are being blind to it. Now it's going to be in their face every day.
Okay, let's say, so who's the
Look what they done in Turkey the other day. What did they do in Turkey the
They
other day?
killed the brother.
Just kill him. They chopped the man up in little pieces.
Bro,
In birthday cake boxes and took him away, bro.
wow.
What are you telling me? That's okay?
Where did you get that from?
Not at all, it's not.
Well, that's
that's
what
not my point. What I'm
we
saying is,
Okay, I didn't know
what
that.
I'm saying
No,
is,
I didn't know birthday boxes. I heard
No,
that.
that's what the story
I
was.
heard they chopped him
I
up.
was hearing George Galloway.
What I'm
George
saying is,
Galloway done a show, about, I think 2.5 hours. He does a show with it.
What I'm saying is, if we
George
talk
Galloway
about,
was speaking about
if we talk about these things, and rile up the emotion of the Muslims, how does it benefit the Muslim Ummah if we can't replace or remove these tyrant? Who we're going to put in their
If we
place?
all come together, we could replace them.
But what are we doing? We're mash up ourselves.
I know.
We're mash up ourselves.
Let's better ourselves.
Just look at
Tell me what you were saying.
Just look at this part.
Let's better ourselves.
Let's look at the Muslims in this part. Look at how much different there is amongst the Sunni Muslims in this part, let alone worldwide.
No, I can agree.
You know what I'm saying? If man's fighting, bro, listen, this is the thing. If man's fighting, a Salafi brother over there is going to say, I'm going with my Sheikh, my Amir. The Naqshbandi brother is going to say, I'm going with my Maulana. I'm saying, I'm not saying don't disagree. And
What's the hadith? What does the hadith say in regards to speaking out against injustice? What does it say? What's the hadith?
It's from the greatest forms of jihad to speak in front of the just ruler. But that is
and if you see a badness,
yeah. So the hadith is من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده. Whoever sees from amongst you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. فإن لم يستطيع فبلسانه. And if he's not able to do so, then with his tongue. Right. And if he's not able to do so, then بالقلب. Yeah. What is ذلك من أمر الإيمان. Yeah. So
what I'm saying is the brothers that are talking like, this is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying
is they're following this hadith, which is the first one is speaking out against the tyrant.
Right. So
the second one is
doing.
The first one is first one is action. Actually.
No, not the hadith. I'm saying another hadith. It's speaking. Brother, wait. I'm saying the first hadith they use.
What I'm saying is, look, sorry, let me just in the Muslim Ummah, we've seen the people try to do it with their hands and swords. That never ever benefited the Ummah yet. Never in the past. It never benefited when the Muslims fought against Hajjaj ibn Yusuf. And he killed Asma bint Abi Bakr's son and hung his head in the Medina. That was what the Sahaba amongst them said. They said to them. I heard even some of them even broke their swords so they wouldn't be involved in that. Right? So the hand thing has been done historically. The scholars speaking out. Has been done historically. Right? Imam Ahmed spoke about.
We can't say.
I'm not saying this. What I'm saying is those two forms of changing evil is when you have the ability to do so.
But you're still saying you're not just saying ability. You're saying look at ourselves. So it's almost like you're saying until we're perfect.
No, I'm not even saying until we're perfect. I'm saying until we're upon one page.
Bro, when's that going to happen?
Getting taken hostage, man. Hey, listen. They got me. They caught me.
He's paying that jizya. He's paying jizya.
I know. He's joking.
I know about the Chinese ifrit.
Basically, see Moses, when Moses.
Hey, you man.
He's got a new name though.
No. I'm just Muslim. Listen, I'm just Muslim.
No,
Aki, all right, can I say something? All right.
The name changed.
All right, no. All right, listen. No, Imam Ali said to the leader of the Jews, how many sects are there in the Jews? You know what the Jew said? There's 71 sects. The Christian 72 sects, and the Muslim is 73 sects. So obviously one of these sects is the one that will go to heaven. Which one is that? So it's up to you lot to choose. Who's the one that's going to go to heaven? Which sect? Do you understand? Because no, which one is that? There's no your sect. Are you sure? No. Where's the dalil? The deen is dalil. What do I mean? Deen is evidence. Haythuma yumil. Wherever it travels, we travel with it. Like wherever it bends, we bend with it. You understand? So what I'm trying to say, bring the dalil. We come.
The tranny bends.
No. Astaghfirullah. No. Listen. Look, at the end of the day, Moses, when Pharaoh went to test Moses, Pharaoh put coal and put diamonds. He said, you know what, let's get Moses and test him when he was a baby. So Jibril got Moses' hand. No, it was coal or it was diamonds. It was jewels. It was jewels or the coal. It was fire. So Jibril came down and he put Moses' hand, because Moses went for the diamonds and that, and then it was diamonds, bro. And then Jibril put Moses' hand on the coal, and Moses put the coal in his mouth. That's why he had the lisp. That's why he said, and he brought Harun with him. But what I'm trying to say, the Moses story, obviously it was mentioned a lot in the Quran. And obviously the stick, as you can see here, a lot of things happen from the stick. What I'm trying to say is that Moses, mashallah, when he came out from the thing and he saw two people fighting and he punched the bread, what did Allah say? هَذَا مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ وَهَذَا مِنْ عَدُوِهِ. This is from the Moses' Shia and this is from Moses' enemy. Do you understand? So Shia is mentioned in the Quran. What I'm trying to say is that and then obviously, I'm just saying this mentioned in the Quran. It's not something like I'm bringing up here. Obviously, it's like you got to choose. Are you Shia, for example, of Umayyah? Because like I said to Ali Da'wah, it's Moses versus Pharaoh, Abraham versus Nimrod, Muhammad versus Abu Sufyan, because he fought him for 30 years. Then it was Imam Ali versus Muawiyah, Abu Sufyan's son. Then it was Imam Hussein versus Yazid. And then it's going to be the Imam Mahdi versus the Sufyani.
You know, Imam Mahdi sectors of the religion, fam. Like
I'm just saying it's good
sectors, fam. Like Catholics, Orthodox, Pentecostal. You get me? There's Sunnis, there's Shias, there's 72 other sectors, bro. Yeah, I'm Shia, innit?
No, I'm just Muslim, akhi. You shouldn't say no. No, akhi. It's
no offense, innit?
It's not offense, bro. I'm not on that level to be a Shia.
Man, you're
Akhi, I wish to be a Shia. How about that? I wish.
Trust me, I'll give you that.
I'm not.
Shi'i, trust
how?
me.
How can I?
I'll give you that.
Okay, shall I tell you?
Certified.
Okay, who's? You know
what you told me? That electric system that happens in your body.
Say it again.
It's a Shia quote, right?
No, it's not, Aki. Listen,
say it again. Say it.
Listen. No, Aki. What I'm trying to say.
He's trying to get electric.
Aki. Listen, what I'm trying to say. The believer is like the rooster. There's a hadith that says the believer is the same as the rooster.
I don't know, you know. So I'm actually asking you.
The rooster. You know the rooster. You know the rooster. Yeah. They say the believer has the same. The believer. The rooster. So, this is a hadith, yeah? Because the rooster, he wakes up for morning prayers. Anyone who can hear the morning prayers, the rooster wakes up. The rooster is brave. Anyone try beef a rooster, the rooster will beef you. The rooster, he bangs a lot as well. A believer, I know it's good.
Where does it say that a rooster bangs a lot?
There's that. Check it on the thing. Check it on the science museum and all that. They say that the rooster.
Science museum.
Actually, check the statistics. The statistics.
A rooster banging. Bruv, who records roosters having sex?
No, I'm saying. He bangs a lot, yeah. And the rooster he's jealous. If you go near his chick, he'll move to you. Even if you're a big guy, you know that. Hey, who's got a rooster? Who's beefed a rooster before?
But that's with most
we don't just do that.
No, not with most. No, the pig don't do that. The pig, he let you bang his thing.
Most animals go to
I'm saying that's why it's haram to eat pig.
Go to a lioness, you'll be last of a lion.
Pigs do muta.
Yeah.
Muta basically is it's called temporary marriage, innit? Temporary marriage was the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahaba used to.
As in, like, why
the Sahaba used the Sahaba.
In the comments said she alive said she was muta marriage with anything.
Oh, big up. What? Give him a number, Aki, but do it on a private thing, innit? Mashallah.
He's trying to get married on live.
Yeah, no, but give us my number. Listen, but
bullshit.
no, listen. I just told you. Listen,
He's trying to get married on live.
Yeah, Akhi, yeah.
He doesn't even know what the girl looks like. He just married her like that.
She sounds buff. See her and that. Come on, man. Hey, but
her words that she types are buff.
Okay,
she must be buff.
I
can't disclose that information. But what I'm trying to say.
How much you pay for it?
Akhi, 1 second. Let me explain.
No, how much you pay for it?
Do Sunnis do misyar? Answer the
I'm
question.
asking you a question.
Answer the,
I'm
what?
asking you a question.
What do you do? No, but is it in there?
You brought a
1 second. Akhi, do you do misyar or not? No, 1 second. No, don't do it. Akhi, Sunni have got a mut'ah called misyar. Yes or no? If I'm wrong, tell me. No. What do you mean no? Check. No. Who said I'm wrong?
You don't say that again.
They have a marriage called misyar.
Who does misyar now?
No, I'm just asking you. Do you have?
That was at the time of the Prophet.
No, the Sunnis have something called misyar. Answer my question. Yes, they do. Okay, someone Google it. Who got Google, fam? No, I'm just saying. No, what do you bring a scholar? You know about this thing. Who knows about it? Who's a scholar? There's some scholars that they know about this thing. Is there a sign called misyar? There's a Sunnis, they got a marriage called misyar. No more. You know, who knows about it? You know about it?
His new name.
No more.
And where did you go?
If she was causing fitna, right, listen.
I don't know why he did that.
No, it was because of a rap boy. It was because of a rap boy.
Avoid it. You should say end it now. I'm not going to bro, they're using you.
I know, they deleted it. It's gone.
But you know they record someone's going to record it and upload it.
I don't know, but what I'm saying, at the end of the day...
If anyone does that, say, I'm not talking about my family stuff.
Yeah, of course, what I'm trying to say. No. Hey, listen, actually, Hey, listen, what I'm trying to say.
How much you pay for?
Okay, well, let me finish. Why isn't there one scholar who's telling me that they've got this in the thing? Bring me one scholar. Akhi, bring the ones, the misyar marriage. Misyar. Okay, get Google. Have you got Google? Who's got our Wi-Fi? Akhi, bring the Google. Hey, Sheikh. Hey, Sheikh, bring the Google.
Why calling me that?
Sheikh,
why calling me that? I'm on that.
No, you can call anyone, Sheikh.
I'm on that.
Ask him, he knows. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on, come on, mate, come on.
He wants to know what the misyar marriage situation. Can you explain to him? What?
Misyar.
The misyar marriage. Misyar marriage.
No, I'm not. If I'm making it up, I'll give you £1,000 if I'm making it up. £1,000.
You're not clever, mate.
But he doesn't know what he means. What does misyar mean? That's what we're trying to find out.
One bread.
He's the one who's
You tell us what does it mean.
It's a marriage where the person has the intention of divorcing, but he doesn't tell the woman when he's going to divorce, like that.
And what you're saying that is...
It's in the Sunnis.
What?
Sunnis?
No Sunnis know that.
Bro, I don't even know that man. Never heard of it. How the hell stuff my life?
Bring a sheikh. Wait, one sheikh. Bring a sheikh.
That is super takia.
Who's got Google? Where's got Google?
He's got Google. No, I haven't got Google. I've got like no.
You're on takia mode.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to do this. Let's go to Sheikh Google.
So why do you
The good thing about Modin gives us jokes.
Takia mode.
He makes everyone happy.
Misyar.
But
Why is this the most interesting thing to
no,
talk
because
about?
marriage is the most best thing to talk about. Why? Because it's fun, isn't it? You get to,
It's fun of things, man.
Marriage is the best thing in the world. Marriage is the most fun thing ever.
I thought there's a lot of people who think God's the best thing ever.
Yeah, Allah.
Marriage.
Look, the Prophet ﷺ said, 3 things I love to me in this world: salah, perfume, and women. Yeah.
Movies? Nothing but Shia. No, that's not me. So what?
come on.
There's no big debate. That's why the glasses are. You don't need to.
What I'm trying to say, listen, Aki, what I'm trying to say, like the story of Moses, yeah? Obviously, when Moses threw the stick and it became a giant snake, Pharaoh was so shook, yeah, because the snake was like as tall as the Twin Towers, like that tall. That's how Moses' snake, it went massive, bro. And it swallowed a couple of months. And the magicians...
Wait, stick a pin there.
Or it didn't have.
Was that indoors or outdoors?
No, there was a big like palladium in it. And then all the magicians came, they started throwing their sticks, it became snakes. But what happened? was
So it was open air.
yeah, it was open. And then Pharaoh, he got so shook and that he done it on himself. And then this is what's it called, Moses, yeah. And then the magician said, we've now believed that of the Lord of Moses. You get me? And Pharaoh said to the magicians, I'm going to chop your hands and legs off if you believe in the Lord of Moses. And they said, go and do it, but at least we know we're going back to the Lord. Because Moses' miracle at that time was magic. Jesus' miracle at that time was curing the blind, because at that time it was medicine. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's miracle is the Quran. So no one can violate the Quran.
I need to speak to about the accusations that Ardz said on that video. I need to speak to
yeah, we'll talk about that, inshallah. But what I'm trying to say,
no, about me. You're not saying like.
No, don't worry, Aki.
People down from Birmingham.
Aki, listen, don't worry, Birmingham.
Calling you out about your private stuff. That's not.
Don't watch that, Aki. But what I'm trying to say, Aki, just put your trust in Allah. Just put your trust in Allah. What I'm trying to say, yeah.
This is really controversial.
No, what I'm trying to say, at the end of the day, Moses' story is always written in the Quran. And things like, it's like, even when his mum, Moses' mum, the Pharaoh people tried to search the house to kill the babies because they were killing the kids. Moses' mum put him in the hot stove, innit? And then so to protect him, and then he was still alive. There's miracles. No, but I'm just saying there's miracles. So a believer.
Have you heard about the Iceman in America, murderer?
No,
they made a film about him.
So what was the message of Moses? What he's trying to preach?
Moses was saying, worship one God, worship Allah. You understand? That's what I'm trying to say. So Moses
hiding Hitler.
You're taking your
Hold on, hunting Hitler. That is another series everyone needs to watch. Hunting Hitler.
What I'm trying to say, we've got a miracle today. Just like it's a miracle in front of our eyes right now, which is the Quran. Now what I'm trying to say, obviously, at that time of Moses was magic, the miracle. So Allah gave Moses magic.
No, maybe it's just made up.
No, it's not made up. It's a historical fact.
Different scriptures.
See? It's a historical fact.
You guys might want to know. You guys might want to know.
Go back to Samaria, go back to the Babylonian history. That's how the Old Testament
You might want to know. There's a guy called Randy for the last 20 years. He's offered £50,000 to anybody who will come and do anything supernatural. Okay? He's standing there. His name is Randy.
Listen.
Not one person has done anything.
Yeah.
Go and get your 50.
Like how much percent receipt?
You've got to go with the evidence. Because there's a hadith saying, whoever deceives not with us.
So how much Muslims do it, like percentage?
It's not.
Muslims,
Let me tell you something. Some people, who wants to smoke, they will find an excuse or weak hadith, to make themselves feel good, so they can smoke. They can do muta, anything like that. Because they want to make themselves feel good.
Listen.
They think they're your fitra automatically tells you when it's wrong or right.
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
The evidence.
Okay. If that, I didn't know that.
God decides when miracles take place. God decides when healing takes place. God decides when a miracle takes place. Not you or him.
I'm just saying there's a £50,000 reward to anyone who will do anything.
No.
How comes
Okay, can I just say something? Someone said to the Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, Khawarij asked him, have you seen God? Imam answered, eyes cannot see him through vision, but hearts can see him through certainty of faith. He is neither recognized with analogy nor perceived with the senses, and cannot be compared to people. He is attributed through signs and recognized through his indications. There is no oppression in his judgment. Such is Allah. There is no God but him. The man left while saying Allah knows how to give his message. What I'm trying to say, what
That's true, did you say? No, it's written, but I don't believe it's accurate.
Yeah, but how would you believe that?
How would you believe that?
No, but how would you believe that? How would you believe that?
Oh, what, Shensi, you said you can't do filming, you can't. Well, he's not allowed, yeah? He said we're putting laws on the guy, yeah? But what I'm trying to say, so basically at the end of the day, someone told the Imam, a man complained to him, and then Imam said to him, be patient. Like, he had problems. Allah will give you relief. And then the man said to the Imam, may Allah protect you, yeah? I have got so many problems. And then the Imam told him, you know the prison in Kufa, there was a prison. He goes, how mad was that prison? He goes, yeah, it was tight, it was dirty, it was mad. He goes, you see that prison? This dunya, this life is a prison of the believer. So it's like you're in prison, just like that prison. So when the man said he's got problems, the Imam was telling him, this life is a prison. You see what I'm trying to say? You see what I'm saying, bro? Well, I just want to ask you something.
When people come to me with ideas, I'm going to compare them with science and go, what does science think?
You're not even concentrating. But what I'm trying to say, so this dunya is the prison of the believer. Sorry, I just want to hear what Shamsi's saying. 1 second.
Somebody
We
wrote
have the Quran and the modern science.
I know they try to, but they don't believe in evolution.
What's he saying? I don't know what he's saying. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say, though, Aki, is this COE, yeah? Yeah, so basically, so like I just said to the man them, this dunya is like a prison. So now it's like we're in prison now. We're doing time right now. All for the believer, not for the kafir, not for the pagan. For the pagan it's paradise, but for the believer it's a prison. Oh, what, you want to jump on Shamsi's thing, yeah?
Yeah. Is no one there? I beg you not to come to camera.
When you just go outside, more perception. Right, you've got the Quran, only the Wi-Fi. There's no secret for him. Whatever you're going to check, when you're feeling, so there's no point. Of course, still there's khair here. There is some people come to learn. That's why that inspires me more to come and give it dawah. But now it becomes a joke. You have this hyena with the camera following you everywhere. Allah is a joke, man. They say grooming gangs. We have here Christian gangs after us with the camera. Speak, you're running, you this.
Did you see the grooming gang in Huddersfield? Do you know who was the ringleader? A Sikh guy. A Sikh guy was
no one speaks about it.
A Sikh guy was the leader of the grooming gangs in Huddersfield.
You know why no one speaks about it? Because he was not bloody Muslim.
Yeah.
If it was a bloody Muslim,
there was Asian people, Muslims in that group, but because the ringleader was
but you know, what is the funny about it? My brothers, what is the funny about it? Doesn't make any sense. They say a Muslim grooming gang. I never heard someone saying a Muslim, a Christian gangster gang. There's many pedophile Christians and white people because it's known that many British, I'm not generalize every British, there is British people out there, good people, without any doubt. But it's known a lot of British white people go to Thailand and Vietnam and sleep with the babies. That's what I want to ask Tommy Robinson to show me his passport. If he's been to Thailand or Vietnam, if he's been, now something going on. They are known for it. You see what I'm saying? So how come, hold a minute, why no one says Christian, Brit, brother, how come no one says Christians, Islam will have severe punishment for those foolish grooming gangs. If it's Islam, how come they're not Africans? How come they're not Algerians or Arab? Why have to be Asian, Pakistani? And 70% of them are white people. But 100% pedophile are white people. See what I'm saying? Why you have to add Islam? It's like someone saying a Muslim bus driver runs over a cat. Why you have to say Muslim? Just a bus driver. If it was a Christian, they wouldn't even mention his religion. Why? Because they want to portray Islam as a murderer. Like a taxi driver, he runs over a child. A Muslim taxi driver. I'll tell you a funny story which I've mentioned many times. They said that a young man saved a boy in America from a dog. So he had to kill the dog to save the child. So the news came to him, the media. They said, we have here American gentleman who killed the dog to save the child. What a hero. He said, I'm not American. So okay, we have a Yankee here, young man who killed a dog to save a child. He said, I'm not Yankee. He said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Saudi. We have a terrorist here who just killed a dog. He was a hero, but now because the Muslim is a terrorist. Wallahi, and the funny is, it's a funny. Wallahi, brother Islam, he was 10 years old. He told me this story. Even a Muslim noticed that there is a war, where there was a war against Islam. That anything, they try to make Islam look bad. Even the Islam won against drugs. There's severe punishment. Muslim drug dealer. That contradiction. If it's a Muslim, true Muslim, should not be selling drugs. He's a Muslim, yeah, but he's a bad Muslim. May Allah bless you. And my voice gone.
We're never going to get away from that, fam. Come on.
No, you made your bed yesterday. Hey, what? Are they still dissing me in the comments? They're taking all my bad deeds. They're taking all my bad deeds. Keep dissing me, yeah? I'll take all your good deeds.
Read them out.
What are they saying about me?
Let Kalam talk now.
Yeah, Kalam, yeah? You want Kalam? The Kalam, they want you here.
Saying, baby.
They don't want Modine.
Man, like Modine.
Yo,
Sugar.
Yo, G.
Listen, the views are gonna skyrocket right now.
Oh shit, everyone's ducked out, yeah?
Oh man.
Listen, what I'm saying, like, though, yeah. Should we say, like, the brothers, yeah, they need to, like, at the end of the day, they need to relax, take it easy, go for a holiday. You get me? Because bare people are stressed, blood. You need to go on Thomas Cook and that, and then just get out of here, blood. You know them ones. Go on the sea, go on the beach, get on jet ski like DJ Khaled. You know them ones. And get lost in the jet skis or something like that. You get me? Because London can stress you out, blood. London can stress you out differently, blood. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to stay positive and happy, you need to come, like, you know what you need to do, blood? You need to give out good energy, blood, so you can receive good energy. You get me? But if you're giving out bad energy, how are you going to get good energy? You see what I'm saying, though? So man need to be on this, like, helping people, nice to people, giving out, thinking, changing people's lives, so your life can get changed to the better. You get me? But if you're not doing that, then obviously you're going to be on this depression thing all your life, on them depressing tablets, blood. Because you're not helping no one, blood. You might be hurting people, not even helping. You might be violating people, blood. You get me? So people need to be more vigilant. You get me? They need to understand, to be great, you be great with your manners. To be great, you be great with your actions. You get me? To be polite. You know what I'm saying?
Over here, but the camera's over here, man.
Yeah, man. So basically, obviously, there's like.
I'm gonna have to sign out though.
Obviously, yeah, the brothers. Yeah, obviously the Chinese man.
I'm gonna have to sign out.
Family,
is going. No, carry on this one. I'm gonna sign out though.
Yeah.
So family, I'm gonna catch you guys.
Big up Kalam, big up my G Kalam. You know how it is.
Jeez, man, like Modine.
Done a real G Kalam. Yeah. Basically, Aki, you know, like, man, them is like what? One second, who's this? Yo, G. Hello? Some people phoning man and that. I don't know who. Yo, prank call. Hello. What? Yo, who's that? Omar. Oh yeah, bro. I'm just talking on this camera thing. I'll call you back. Yeah. Alright, shit. Sure, you don't want to hold it no more.
Who are you calling?
No, some prayer phone me, bro. Innit? But listen, what I'm trying to say, like, at the end of the day,
You're not tired of being recorded.
no. What I'm trying to say, look, what I'm trying to say, Aki. No. Astaghfirullah, Aki, man. If I'm talking good things, then I love it. But if I'm not talking good things, I was pretty here. But what I'm trying to say.
One thing, is that recording?
Huh? There's recording, G.
You never talk good things. Like,
Aki, come on, blood. Look, listen. What I'm trying to say, don't drink alcohol, drink Pepsi or Cola. You get me? Do everything halal, blood. You get me? If you do things halal, Allah will bless you. If you do things...
That's not important still.
Alright, listen. Is this going on COE?
Yeah, this is COE live, man.
Listen to this.
Right now, this is television.
Look, the disciples of Jesus, yeah? What did they say to Jesus?
There's like 353 people. Yeah.
Big up the 313 man them, yeah? You know about
56, bro.
50, yeah? 300, yeah?
Yo, step up the likes, man.
Yo. Hey, listen what the disciples of Jesus said to Jesus, yeah? They complained to him about what they were suffering because other people were dissing the disciples of Jesus, giving them a hard time. And guess what Jesus said to them? He says, believers have always been despised. Their faith is like wheat kernel. How sweet its taste is, but how severe its treatment in the process of purification. Good. Yes, my G, my brother. God bless you, man. God bless. So at the end of the day, if you yes, man. Now I'm saying about the disciples of Jesus, they went through hard times, and Jesus told them, if you want to be a G in this life, you have to go through hard times. You know, you can't just have it easy. No one has it easy.
The harder you have it, the better you're going to have it after.
You see? So at the end of the day, if Allah loves a person, if God loves a person, He throws him in through bare troubles. He throws him in bare problems, gives his life bare problems. That's if God loves you. So remember that, yeah. And this is a hadith from Imam Ja'far Sadiq. And basically, there's like bare kind of people like out here, yeah, that are just obviously not doing nothing for the Yemen situation. Like right now, 8 million people could be dying from. And I'm real talks. I'm not here to joke around with you. 8 million people could die in Yemen. You know, basically one man
not via YouTube, so I can't make it right now.
Basically, one man said to the Imam Ja'far Sadiq, how is God one and we're one? Because you know we're one, like as a body, like we're one and God is one. So he was asking the Imam, how is that possible? So the Imam said, yeah, one is an indicator to that which is named. If a human is said to be one, it means that he is one body, not two. But a human is not just one because his organs are different, his colors are different. He whose colors are different cannot be called one. If your organs and everything's different, you're not one, so we're not one. Rather, he is comprised of different components. His blood is not his flesh is not his blood, his nerves are not his veins, his hair is not his skin, and his blackness is not his whiteness. And that is the way of all created things. So human is not a human is one in name only, and no one is one except Allah. Really, if you want to know who's one for real, it's Allah only. We're not one. You understand? Because we're organs and different things. You understand? So Allah is one. You get me? And He has no differentiation, no additions, no increase, no decrease. As for the created and humans, He is comprised of different parts and quantities, and He is not one solarity thing. So humans are not one. God is one. Only one is God. You understand? So then the man, obviously, he learned from that statement, innit? Because there's people out there saying we're one, just like God is one. No, it's not the same. God is one, we're not one, bro. You understand? We've got organs, I just explained it. So the real one is God. You understand? That's why Islam calls to the oneness of God. You understand? That's why we say La ilaha illallah all the time. Because there's no God but Allah, one, just one. That's why I always raise the finger. Yeah, we don't do that. It's just one. God is one. You get me? But obviously Allah has made me say this on COE, this information for a reason. I don't know what. No, I preached that time for people. But you see how all the other channels never got this knowledge, but COE got this special knowledge, bro. You see, this is special only for COE. You can't find this on other channels. That's how mad it is. You can't call it Mufti Din, right? No, I'm a Mufti Din. I'm still listening.
Nobody knows where it is. Huh?
Madness, bro.
No one says anything. Well, you got to back up of America.
Yeah, basically, like obviously, man is out here. Yeah, the brothers need to know what's the man them saying though. But at the end of the day, look.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yo.
Sorry.
What's the man saying? What's the man? All right.
Let's run up on someone, Modi.
What? Who should we run up on?
Right, let's have a look around the park. So let's stroll in.
Yeah, come there. What's the man them saying? What's the man saying?
You don't mind me saying
I respect yourself, man.
Was that Marwa?
How you talk to man like that? You know me? You know me, man? You know me, blood? You don't know me, fam? You come round here, me bust your face, you understand? No, Aki, relax, yo, Aki.
From my understanding, like how you understand it. But other people have different understanding, so they will take a different way. So they might think I'm against their religion. So they might think we're like,
it's not easy,
First found out what the
He's got no weapons. He just dashed my weapon in the flipping pot in the grass.
Why does everything have to do with the camera and the light with you?
Come into the light.
Come to the light.
Come to the light.
Come to the light so you can get that Modi and Dawa.
Isa.
Basically, yeah.
One of the brothers said he wanted to talk.
Basically, yeah. I see certain man acting like animals. You get me? certain man just like barking like dogs, fam. That's what I'm saying, brother. That's what I'm saying. That's why Allah says in the Quran, they are like the dogs. If you give to them, they bark. If you don't give them, they still bark.
Okay,
you understand?
Yeah,
they take out their tongue. So obviously, some in the comment sections, obviously even the dog is better than certain man in the comment section. Because you know the dog, they be safe. That what the people of the cave, they had the dog. You know the people of the cave. You know the people of the cave. They had a dog with them. You understand? And the dog was rolling with them. You get me? But what I'm trying to say, yeah. You want to ask some questions? Yeah, go on. Go on, G. Sorry, you wanted to ask questions as well.
No, I just wanted to speak to the guy.
Alright, basically, I want to say, why isn't Donald Trump condemning the massacre in Yemen?
How do you get to Donald Trump?
No, because blood, what's happening in Yemen is a massacre, fam. They're shooting little kids, blood.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Who's that? Donald Trump?
Sophia Lewis.
Oh, but we just talked.
Let's talk about that.
Blood, we just talked about Sophia Lewis.
I said I want to chat to you. I wanted to chat to you off camera about that, and you want to drag me into the camera, into the light, and you want to chat to man. So I'm trying to tell you.
Yo, fam, all I'm saying, I'm not knowledgeable in transgender issues, but I can take you to the sheikh, he can speak to you. But what I know, I'll give you the number.
I wanted to chat to you away from the camera, by the way.
The sheikh, yeah?
I don't want to have this conversation on camera, John.
But what I'm trying to say,
I just wanted to chat to you, man. What's going on?
Bro, what I'm saying, do you pray for
you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm okay, yeah?
Cool.
But I'm okay if Yemen's okay.
I haven't seen you. Oh, okay. Bro.
I'm okay if my Muslim brothers are okay around the world. If they're not okay, I'm... Go on, baby. If they're not okay, then I'm hurt. How can I sleep at night? Give us a shift. If I can't sleep at night if my brothers are getting killed in Yemen. Come on, fam. The little kids. 8 million kids died in Yemen and no one's saying nothing because of the Saudi Arabia. Saudi scums. You understand?
How comes you're not talking about the real mangina in the schools? Mangina, is that what it says?
Konnichiwa, ni hao.
Yo, man, so what happened?
Can you give us the number, bro?
Listen, bro, if you're into that kind of stuff, man, just own it, bro.
Astaghfirullah, Aki, man.
That's what I just wanted to tell you.
Man's a Aki out here, bro.
So what, man? Just own it.
Nah, G, astaghfirullah.
You like that shit? What's wrong with that shit, bro?
Hey, bro, you know
what he's into, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Are you into Chinese?
Who, me?
You speak Arabic, though. Shall we show?
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
All I'm trying to say is, big up my guy Khabib. Big up Khabib. You know, I like to fight Floyd Mayweather. You know, just send me a location. Like, no, I fight Floyd Mayweather at £9 million. I take, you know. About the.
I'll tell you what, Khabib better relax if he's going to fight Mayweather.
Swear down. What, are they going to fight in the octagon or are they going to fight in the ring?
How many fight?
What, wrestle thing? No.
Arm wrestle.
Hey, listen, no, but I have to take off my jacket. It's a £60 jacket, man. It's a £60 jacket. I can't be fighting in a jacket unless I take it off and then we go on full. Yeah, Aki, but what? How much do you weigh, though? How much do you weigh? I'll fight anyone, bro. But I'm just saying, how much do you weigh? 125. See, that's it. Hey, 125.
Come on, man.
No, come on. Hey, Aki, hey, relax, man.
He's too cool. You're getting close to him. You're not getting close to him.
This guy is serious.
Hey, you man were going to try Russian.
Oh, no, they're trying Russian.
Oh, shit, it's on now.
Who's your favorite boxer?
Hey, Mike Tyson. No, actually,
who's your favorite boxer?
Mike Tyson.
Is it?
Yeah.
How many numbers?
Okay.
Real quickly, yeah?
Get in, real quickly, yeah? Bang! Did you see that coming, did you? Ah! Are you sure? What's that?
Can we wrestle?
Wrestle? You see me, you think I'm gonna be wrestling you, G? You know me, yeah? I'm coming just for a straight takeout, G. I'm coming for a straight takeout. I'm not gonna wrestle you, bro. You're too big, bro. I'll just take you out straight away.
You can't. What area did you grow up in?
Croydon, maybe.
Croydon?
Yeah.
You really don't act like you're from Croydon.
Is it? You don't act like I'm from? Like I'm from West London. Like West London?
Nah, I'm from West.
Oh.
We don't act like that.
Nah, you like West. We used to bully the West Londoners, you know.
Never.
West Londoners didn't get bullied. South, North, we all used to bully you lot.
Why are you promoting postcode war?
I'm just simply telling you.
Why are you promoting postcode war? Why are you promoting postcode war? What happened to Tyson?
All right. You got me.
Hey, Kalam. Gangs now, yeah?
Hey, I slipped for 1 second, you know. I slipped.
No, it's a slippery slope when you start crying. You know?
Hey, really true. Hey, that was my twin, G. That was my twin. Hey, what we saying, man? I want to get involved with something, man. What we saying? What's around? All right, we got Muslim-Christian debate going on. Let's go.
We've exhausted what we've exhausted.
Oh, sugar, it's over.
It's not even a debate.
All right,
No, we're just exchanging discourse. He's asking questions.
Yeah, I've got a debate topic, yeah?
I don't really debate.
Well, you're going to have to debate, though.
Are you speaking truth?
No, I'm speaking truth, all right? So this is it. I want to know how you get your beard to look so good. That's it. Oh, your barber. Your face to your blood clot. That grows like. I'm trying to get there. Yeah, I'm the job.
Gonna be Muslim soon.
What
are you saying, man?
I got 2 left, you know, if anybody wants.
So what are you saying? No more likes, yeah? 28 likes.
Easy.
380
There you go. I'll give you.
Wow, thank you, man. This is kind. May God bless him for this.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
So we say, man, let's liven it up, man. What's around?
My brain is fried, man.
Yeah.
We've had a good day. It's all blessed. You know, we've been out here for ages. My brain is fried, but it's all for the will of God. It's all for the will of God, the love.
What did he say?
It's all for the will of God.
Oh man, we've been slaying Christians today, boy. It's been peak Christian slaying day. Yeah, we've been beating them up. Get me? They've been getting away for 1 year. Get me? Man have been mostly concentrating on Islam and this one and that one and Hebrew Israelites. Get me? But Christians are getting. Come on, man. Come on.
Because they came and tried. They bought land, right? They bought land.
Let me put my shades on. Man, they'll start framing like, yeah. You see, Matthew's eyes are red and that.
There's a lot of Palestinians today in Jordan. They left. They sold land.
Yeah, because that was their mistake.
And they left.
They didn't want their children to go through there, so their stuff was
at the moment. People could really live there. They couldn't grow things.
Move back the conversation back into the light, man. Turn the light, man. Everyone's, oh shit. And then Modine comes with his one finger. You better mind that finger, though.
Are you Christian, brother? Are you Christian or Muslim? I want to get basically the prophets of God, yeah. The prophets of God, they were all very humble, yeah, and we should follow their footsteps. Come on. Like the prophets of God, if you see them, yeah, like Moses, Jesus, they were very, very, very humble people. And Moses, yeah, when he used to pray to God, he used to put. Allah said, "You know why I chose you, Moses? Because when you were the most humblest person in your time. When Moses used to put his head on the ground, he used to put his cheek on the ground and left cheek on the ground from his humbleness to God. So God chose Moses because of his humbleness, basically. You understand? So at the end of the day, how humble are man? The more humble you are to God, the more you get taken up. Yeah. So Moses was the most humble of his time, and basically, obviously, the believer, yeah, he sees with 4 eyes. He doesn't see with 2 eyes. Because he's got 2 eyes in his heart and 2 eyes here. Because there's certain things you can feel. You don't have to see everything to know what's going on. You can feel the vibrations, the energy. And you get that feeling when you're close to God. Brother, listen, all I say, me banchichi man, yeah? Me not talk about them things there, yeah? But me got deceived, you know, me got deceived, that key. Yeah, but it's illusions. Like it was an optical illusions. Like, it was optical illusions. No, I didn't mean it like that. Now, what I meant like that, I was joking with it. Like I was trying to see what his reaction is. But obviously, I was giving it dawah, innit? But I was trying to give it some dawah.
It's a social experiment, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah, my bad, yeah, your thing.
No, but obviously, she thinks we're criminals and that. We want to throw her off the building. That's what she thought. So she was coming in on a protective thing. She was like, no, you want to throw me off the building? Rare. So I was like, no. You're buffer. I was trying to throw her on the bed. Nah. Stack her.
All up in the guts. All up in the guts. All up in the guts, man. I think you should change your name. No Dean.
Listen, Stackford.
No Dean.
Cut.
I like that. That's got a ring to it, innit?
Cut.
What's a cut? Listen, no Dean. Yeah, Bridget, no Dean. Don't mess with him.
Real talk.
Get me? He likes Chinese, but
no, Stackford.
So does Eddie Murphy.
But listen to this, yeah. How many of you, man, yeah, are people that help people? That's what the question is. How many people have you helped today? How many chat lives have you changed today? That's the real question.
I don't understand. Why think about like scrutinizing?
Oh yeah, the Pioneer gang. This guy, I this guy.
That's not the only gland that Tranny's got.
You know, how many times have you heard us like scrutinize you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like,
Well, is man bringing Christian Dawah right now?
Look, I heard Imam Ali, he was saying to the leader of the Jews, how many sects have happened amongst you? He replied, this many and this many. Imam Ali said, you have told the lie. Then he turned to the people and said, by God.
Ask him where Jesus is. Where's my man moving?
He says,
Where's he
Jews
about?
have become 71 sects. 76 from them will be in hell. One sect will go to heaven. And this is the one that obeyed Yusha ibn Nun, the trustee of Moses. And Christians are divided into 72 sects. And 71 from them will go to hell. And one will go to heaven. And this is the one who obeyed Shamun, the trustee of Jesus. And the Ummah will have 72 sects. 72 from them will go to hell. And one will go to heaven. And this is the sect
Mr. Ardz TV, my invention. Get me? No shoulders, my invention. Deadpool arms, my invention. I bet someone try and cuss me. You can't. You know you're entertained by this. Yeah. Oh yeah, big up. Fuck rap boy as well. Fuck rap boy. Who agrees with me? Fuck rap boy. Can we get a 7-8 swine? Yeah. Can we get a 7-8 swine? If it's fuck rap boy. Fuck rap boy, man. He's a madman. You know what I'm saying? Show me your shoulders. Yeah? Show me your shoulders, man. Hey. Yeah. Hey. I want to see the shoulders, skank. I want to see the shoulders. Two shoulders come like a pair of skank. That's why you can tell a tranny by the shoulders. Hey. Hey, yeah.
Please, love. Always be getting everything about the fucking trannies. Jeez. Basically, in English, he was saying he wants to get a migraine skank.
Inshallah, this Christian is going to become Muslim one day, inshallah. Islam is going to reach his heart. He's going to say, Shadu la ilaha illallah, Shadu anna Muhammad abduhu rasuluh, and be saved and worship one true God, the creator, not the creation.
Will you say something?
Inshallah. Say inshallah. Say inshallah.
Let the will of God be done.
Mashallah.
So it's good that he was explaining and then she came on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been.
Submit to God according to the legislation of God. You're not
According to the Jewish law.
I understand that, but you're
Jewish law.
Nah, look at him.
Yeah.
Just him.
No, that's not.
Just him, man.
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Okay.
He's got no voice. He's got no voice. He doesn't have a voice.
No,
he wants. No. But listen. Listen to what we're talking about. Dude.
Don't call me dude. In my language, dude, this is something else.
So?
We're in a womb.
So you're in England? Are you in your country or
Yeah,
are you in
but
England?
Arabic
Are
speaker.
you in England?
I'm joking.
Okay, go on. Listen.
I'm not joking.
We are talking about the actual verb and the noun. I'm not talking about if he did or if he did not. So if you're going to break down that word, okay, it's the first part is MU. Then you got S, then there's a LIM, right? No? Muslim. So you submit your will. Isn't that?
What do you mean you
isn't
break
that
it? I don't understand. You break up.
I believe, I don't, dude, listen. I get camera shy. I don't like to be on camera. Do you understand? You don't understand. I don't like to be on camera.
Go on.
Listen to me. What I'm trying to tell you is, listen to me. If you break down that word itself, it can be a verb, yes or no?
It's taken from verb. It's Islam. Yeah, that's what I said.
No, it's taken from. So where does that word actually come from then?
I'll tell you what. Muslim came from the word Islam. In English language, it's been derived from the term submission. So therefore, Jesus submits to God. Oh, Leon, this is not table tennis here. It's too light. Anyway, you want.
Got a pen. Let me just use your pen. Right. Listen, if you break down that word and you go Muslim, these are two words, isn't it? Because
no, it's not two words.
Wait.
Muslim is one word.
No, but
What's
this side over here is
this one Muslim.
To Islam. This refers to Islam.
No. You.
I know what he's trying to do. Separate the word into two, yeah?
But you can't.
That's what he's trying to do.
But
You can't.
linguistically, you can't.
I know.
What was the goal?
No, but I'm not saying literally do it.
What's the goal, brother? What's the goal in separating the word?
In it.
No, because he said that Jesus is a Muslim.
Right.
I'm saying yes, okay, but then by that logic, I'm a Muslim too. Because I submit my will to only one God. Do you understand?
No, according to who? Let's finish it. Muslim means.
No, but what I'm referring to is that when you use that word in a capital M, that means now it is now the noun. It's not the verb anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Right. So what you're
when you use the lowercase m,
what he's trying to say is you're ascribing Jesus to maybe the Sharia of Muhammad.
Right. That's why it's misunderstanding. Because you think Islam.
You're thinking five times a day, zakat, all of that stuff.
Exactly my
but
point.
that's what, when Muslims say Jesus is a Muslim, they're using it purely in the linguistic term, which is submission, surrender. Aslama. Yeah. Like Abraham said in the Quran, Inni aslamtu wajhi li rabbil alamin.
But am I correct in saying? Am I correct in actually, saying that this is a verb and it's
we understand, but the term Muslim derived from the word Islam. Nah. That's what I'm saying. So my point here is.
Come on, I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say.
Right? I forgot
I'm trying to.
Bro, are you
I'm
speaking
sure you
to?
understand. I'm sure you understand what I'm
Excuse
trying
me.
to say.
I know. You know what he's doing? Yeah.
No. I don't want to be on camera. I've been saying
No problem. You know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? No problem. Forget all of this. Forget all of this.
I'm already going back, man. I don't want to debate you.
No problem. What are you doing? You like something? Shall I be serious here? What he's doing is like a person who's drowning and he's looking for anything to save him. He will even try to grasp on spider's web, even though he knows that will not help him. That's what he's doing now. No problem. Just I don't know what I'm talking about, and we can go. Khalas, look after yourself. That's it.
I didn't want any cameras here in the first
No,
place.
it's all
I
good,
just
it's all
wanted to
good.
have
Okay.
a conversation.
Next time, inshallah.
Come right, come in anyway. It was trying to go into the meaning of Muslim and Islam, and it being a noun and a verb, and does it apply to Jesus or not? And does it apply to Jesus or not?
Yeah, I will tell him. I'm recording now. It's cutting me off.
Understand? Because there's two types of Islam.
I want to tell him.
There's general Islam and there's specific Islam. Where general Islam, as Allah said in the Quran, Inna ad-deena inda Allah Islam. There's no religion with Allah, only Islam. Okay? The only religion with Allah is Islam. That's one thing. The other verse, which talk about specific Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whosoever seeks religion other than Islam will never accept from him. So the scholars mentioned that all the prophets and messengers came with Islam, came to call people, submit to the Creator according to the teaching of the Prophet. Prophet Muhammad is the last messenger, as we believe. So now, therefore, that general Islam becomes a specific meaning. There is no one can be a correct Muslim except by following Prophet Muhammad. So when we say Jesus is a Muslim, doesn't mean he believes doesn't mean he follows Prophet Muhammad teaching and so on. Meaning general Islam to submit to the Creator according to His will, according to the Prophet legislation. As for you, you follow Paul legislation, so you're not Muslim. That's it. I thought we finished.
Come on, I didn't want the cameras in the first place.
Okay, record it, man.
All the time.
I can't see you. You're invisible.
No problem. As I said, we agree to.
All the time, Paul.
Behind the belly vision is still.
But it's true. Because Paul came to teach you. Yeah. About the origin of the sins.
Nah, Shamsi's a cook.
Origin of the sins. My heart is that. I've been here for hours.
I'm sure he wasn't the only one.
Of course, John tried to glorify Jesus as God without any doubt. There's many, but Jesus
Thank
teaching.
you. So there's many and Paul.
But the main one's Paul. That's what it is. That's Paul, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Even your own Christian, Christian scholars, different between Jesus teaching and Paul. What they call Paulian. Paulian teaching. Anyway, listen, I'll call you. Become Muslim. Stop joking around.
Bro, you already looked that one already, bro.
Yeah, shit.
You already looked that one. Come on board, bro.
You know what they say? You say, if you cannot beat them, join them. And you will never be able to beat us. Just join us. That's it.
Oh,
And
welcome,
you
you
successful.
It's just a conquer thing. It's just a conquer thing.
Don't worry. I'm with you. I stand strong with you, my brother. I'm with you.
With love, brother, with love.
Get more brothers around. Stand strong, my brother. Stand strong. Make sure, man. Don't let them confuse you.
Don't
No, but I am right.
Look.
I know
This
I am.
guy, he's all people free himself from him.
I know people.
No,
people free
no,
himself from
no,
him.
no, no.
Apparently he's
No,
like-
no. When they call him G-Circle, freed from him. Him and Uncle Lai. Say Uncle Tai.
Hey, don't be saying no shots at my uncle. You ain't Wednesday. Don't say no shots to my uncle. No next man.
7-8 swine.
No next man you can say no shots to my uncle, B. Louder.
Listen.
Say shots all day to me, but not my uncle. Go ahead.
No,
Come on.
I'm sure you heard my point.
Come on, we invented slurs. Gang invented slurs. Come on. You know what we do. We invented this stuff. You get me? 7-8 swine. 7-8. Show me. Show me. But I've got Uncle Ty's back right now. I'm looking for Bob the Builder. Get me? You got some questions to answer. So hopefully next Sunday he won't leave early. Get me and come and get this work. Get me? Straight up. Get me? Oh man. My brother. How are you?
Actually, basically, yeah.
The Islamophobia free's got to come out soon, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Definitely.
Hey, that thing had been busting up. Man said Polish wife, you know what I'm saying? You know.
No, the video.
And the man trying to fight against it.
The video is there, right? Raspberry played me the video of his live thing where he said, someone asked him if he eats pork, and he said, sometimes. I was like, oh my God, this was day after it came out. You get what I'm saying? Raspberry said, Mike, look at this. Sitting there watching it. He's like, yes, I eat pork sometimes. Oh.
Bro, this player stood on the corner talking about keeping the law. Being Israel and keeping the law, bro.
Right now.
And that's like,
your Israel permit It's been revoked. You get me? We gave it to Brother Kelly, and a long time ago I told him, like, nah, Uncle, we don't rate you no more. You're too rude. We want to talk about people's mums and dads and shit. You get me?
Was he said the people's mums and that?
He's done it, babe. He's done it to Respect, done it to Jedi, done it to Bearman. Yeah, like, done it to me first. When I first met him with Brother Danjuma.
Oh, yeah,
Danjuma was roasting him, innit? Like, when me and him did the show one time, he pulled a video. He said, look at you smiling in the background. I said, Uncle, you got space goggles. And a puffer jacket, space goggles in summer. You're saying that's not hilarious? I should have laughed. And Uncle was roasting you with his walking stick, like, yeah, you're not even Yoruba, you're an Igbo man. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I remember that. But I was there like,
he was silenced.
Yeah. But I was just like him. And Uncle said, if he gives you any trouble, call me. And he walked off. You get me? Then I started talking to him and he was like, yeah, Yoruba is Hebrew.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Uncle, please, explain. Give me one word. One Yoruba word for both Yorubas. Give me a Yoruba word. Get me? Yeah, I share and all that. It's not even.
Come on, bro.
It's Yoruba, but it's not. You get me?
Yeah.
Uncle's funny.
Different meanings. And then when I said to him about the EA thing, what are you saying, bro? EA means mother. So, hold on, bro.
Yeah. Come on. What's going on? So there's different African translations. Because a lot of these words are same, just in different, you know what I'm saying? When you go to Ghana and you sing, EA means something else. You get me? Like,
reaching.
Well, I don't even know. I heard he was meant to come and do a music video.
Man, sit on the live stream for 6 hours, you know.
It could have been Islamophobia free.
To the train when he was saying fire.
I swear, I didn't even know it was possible till Thai, you know, to do 8-hour live streams and that.
12. He's done 12.
That's the same
9.
Hat,
9.
Same hat, same shirt.
I've been on for one of them for 5 hours. Roasted. You know, 2 days after, I was still tired.
Shit. I would have ended up doing something.
2 days after. You know, stuff I didn't do.
Doing something in between.
Why? The Jedi.
The Jedi. Here you go. Hey, listen. How did he do, bro? I swear he spent, bro,
almost
like 2 hours, bro.
On
one bar.
Yeah, 1 bar.
1 bar, bro.
I was waiting. You know when everyone was waiting for the swine and the wife. Blood, 5 hours later,
I didn't want to get to that bit. Come on! He didn't want to get to that bit, bro.
And when I watched it back from the beginning, I realized he had played the whole video. No, he had played the whole video at first, and then was going through it, then and a thing. So I was thinking, right, imagine that. We're all sitting there, 7-8 swining in the comments, thinking he don't know what going. This is gonna hit him. You get me? He knew. You get me? That's why he dragged it out 5 hours. 5 minutes video. Video's 5 minutes. 5 hours. Just to get to, Uncle, time's got police, 5 minutes, now it's gonna happen. Respect was the best that day. He learned from the brothers.
About man doing Arab dance and that, like.
How cute it. But you see, you've got to understand that because of the because of the enslavement in Libya, which we're not going to knock. Which I do think is a bit strange, because you say you're British, you're born here, then take it to Nigeria.
That's what he says.
Now we know if you're like a teenager and you say fuck Nigeria, I want to come home to England. You go to the embassy. You don't get money. Go down the slave route. You know what I'm saying? Go to Libya, try and make a little money so you could cross over to... That means you ain't got those papers. That means you might not even be British.
Origin,
that means you might be a real proper Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? But you wanted to do it that way. And that way costs money. You know what I'm saying? To get on the car and go across the Sahara and all that type of stuff, stop off in different places, might take you a year to get to the coast. Then you get there, regime change, no Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying? No Gaddafi. It's fucked. Benghazi. Shit. Nigga, you a slave. Okay, cool. No, that's what happened to Uncle. That's what happened to him. So now he feels that Islam is responsible. And I'm trying to say, bro. A lot of these things are CIA operatives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say ISIS and the CIA. These are mercenaries. When they were doing things for them in their favor, like fighting against the Russians as Mujahideen. You know what I'm saying? They were cool. Oh, they were cool, yeah. They were fine.
They send them.
But as soon as there's nothing to do, then man, they become warlords. They start controlling their areas, whether
That's why they try to take them out soon
Afghanistan.
after,
Yeah. But now, because your guys have gone renegade, it's, you know what I mean? And then we've got our own Muslim brothers who are drawn in. Saying, yeah, you mess with us, we'll bring ISIS for you. Really? Really? I beg you, found them. What's their number? Can only governments, can only governments hire terrorist groups? Only governments can hire terrorist groups. So this is something out of our remit. You know what I'm saying? But I would do ask Uncle Ty to just allow the thing about it was Muslim. It was not Muslim. It's a Muslim country. It's part of the Muslim, you get what I'm saying? Islamic State. So what do you mean? You get what I'm saying? And foreign insurgents, hear the word insurgents. That's what's going on. Is Libya a country now? It's a failed state. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing as Iraq.
Yeah, and they did it
But Iraq,
strategically
they put
as
a
well.
puppet government, yeah. But really, the Taliban's back. They've been back. Because like 10 minutes after the Americans left, they came back. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Takbir! Yeah? But some of them are real, yeah, cool. But those ones that they're mentioning, like Al Qaeda, how can Al Qaeda be the name of a list of operatives turned into an organization? It's all fake. You know what I'm saying? That's where it started on the computer.
Every day in
You know what I'm saying?
people dying. But no
Like
one talking
called,
about it.
say, Project Blue Book.
Yeah.
So Project Al Qaeda
Everyone on the name
was, you get me, mercenaries who worked in the Middle East and Pakistan and all of that. Pakistan, where you training them? What's going on? You could say that's the terrorist country. It's under man's nose. You said you found my man there, Bin Laden. You know what I'm saying? And dashed him in the sea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
And then you went in there without asking the Pakistani government. You know what I'm saying? It all sounds
Fishy,
strange.
innit? Bare fishy.
Bare fishy. Military country like that. They got nuclear weapons. Yes or no?
That's spotty, yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't take that risk. I wouldn't take that risk. I think a previous phone call went in there. Let me. Like, guys, we're just going to send some things and look like we were busy and doing something. Can we actually blow up one of those old houses on the outskirts? Yeah. Do your thing. Not that Bin Laden has been dead for 15, 20 years. I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? A man are just perpetuating old videos.
Releasing mixtapes.
Yeah, thank you. Propaganda videos. Like, boy, that cave just... Get me, man's in the cave and
little Ultimate Warrior.
Bro, yeah. Yeah. Man's got walkie-talkie. And you're telling me all this time, man was in Pakistan. And you were bombing all the caves in Afghanistan. Get me, going through
Trying to throw off the sentiment and say, look, yeah, you know over there, that's it.
To hide that you sell heroin.
You
went there to... You get me? Take
They
over,
only
opium.
go into countries and basically like kill people.
Yeah.
Kweku, how's things now? What you saying, bro? Muslim Kweku.
Come on. Hey, that's mad. Did you speak to Martin about his
No,
Sunny Dawa?
Oh. Hey, listen, I'm not even going to jump on it like the rest of the people.
His name's Nodine. I call him Nodine. It's Nodine.
Oi. Man, hey. Man say no.
Nodine.
I don't want to jump on him like that. I see fair man jumping.
Light one. Listen, the light one.
I was fairly enough at home, bro. I was saying this brother is actually calling the prayer a girl whilst calling her a prayer again.
Yeah, a prayer.
Man saying I can touch you, I can touch her because she's not really a girl.
Random, innit?
I said, I can shake your hand, bro. I can touch your little fake breast, but it's alright because you're mad. Like,
oh yeah, and by the way, you're going to hell. You get to hellfire, yeah? You get to hellfire, blah, blah, blah. He's funny.
I'm amazed that the girl didn't walk away, bro. I was thinking to myself, How's he saying that? But do you know what it is? Because
He kept on pulling it away and bringing it back.
even though I think some of the stuff he says is mash up, but it's still sincere when he says it. Like it's no malice. Like you can't really.
Man drew for biblical stories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man drew for the Quran and that, like, oh shit.
What was it that with it? What's her take to it?
Basically, yeah, man was throwing in some stories and that from the Quran, Bible, trying to tell it like about the ancient times and all. I was saying a couple of things, but obviously having some jokes and that. But obviously, it looked mad, didn't it? It looked mad.
That's funny though.
But the thing was, it was mad.
Man, was saying there's like things to expose and that, like bad messages.
Yeah.
I don't know about
I saw it today.
Now you're right though, so listen, someone has to give her down, yeah? I'm saying don't get fooled, innit? Like, it's
not me.
It's a prayer, innit? Like,
No, it's all messed up. I did talk to it on the...
and then the
Is there a rainbow in something?
Yeah, the rainbow's on the train, and then when you go to Trafalgar Square, we go to the pedestrian. Yeah. They got on the lights of the pedestrian. They got two men holding hands, the green, and then they've got the circle.
Right.
That's in Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar Square. This is what, on the ground or thing or
on the lights. For the pedestrians to cross over.
like gay traffic lights.
Yeah, it's
Gay traffic, that's it. We're done. Out. We've got trannies, we've got all sorts. It's end times, man. End times. I agree with heat. Get me.
But there always has to be an explosion. You don't want to settle down.
No, but what scared me, the tranny that's always been here, all of a sudden spoke.
I want to take this though.
The original tranny.
I want to take this though.
The original tranny. No, that one.
Naomi.
Yeah. The one with the red and that.
Okay, yeah.
We've always had the thing here, really, but no one ain't paying it. That spoke last week. Big speech.
I didn't even know that.
Talk about grinding in Hyde Park.
Took it about. Hey, bruv, you know what, yeah? Man's
I
gonna
want to
say
know
something
who
mad, you know?
it was grinding in Hyde Park.
Hey, you know what, yeah?
Must start naming some man from Speaker's Corner and that from back in the day. Like,
Hey, fam.
that's fucked up.
One of the man them told me that fucking thing's got a flat, yeah? And they've seen certain Indian donnies coming in and out of that spot, bro. You get me? The biting man spot.
So you're gonna get Roger Moore from
Coming out of Naomi's,
Asian brothers
coming out,
right now.
coming out of Naomi's spot, fam. I'm like,
I see some man taking the number still.
Yeah, I seen that a bag of times.
Yeah.
You know what? You got to watch out for. You get the game.
No. The other one.
The uniform thing.
Old lady was looking like she's got red hair.
That's a man, yeah.
That's a lady, you know.
What they call it?
I mean, like an old like person.
The man
with the red hair.
Been here for years.
Right, that one, yeah. But that one actually spoke last week. It was all sister the man. Yeah, I read
Some attitude, fam. Some attitude as well.
You can talk to me in South Africa. Oh, he's got a mouth now. Oh, get me, I listened to the whole thing. I was like, right, this is deep. Get me. Big exposure. I've been at Speaker's Corner. Then everything is, I went through the sex phase.
Got non-start in school.
It was also depravity, but it spoke. It was a bit like when Paul Scholes
First time you heard
in
Paul Scholes.
I told my babe not to shut. One sec, babe. Shut up. This guy played for years and never spoke. So he's gonna speak now. Not fucking silence.
What are you talking about?
So that Naomi thing's like, bro, that thing's in every conversation in the background. You get me?
Someone looking to tap it, definitely from right sector.
Bro, people have been tapping it. It's said. Man, I've been tapping it at Speaker's Corner from where they. But it's not on that no more. It's just tranny life. What do you call it? Like Miyagi or something. I don't know. Can there be a tranny Miyagi?
Nah.
Yeah, like when you've gone past the sex phase.
Like a tranny pope.
With your fake pussy.
It's a tranny pope now.
But I'm saying it's fucked up because, like, what I asked Naomi, yeah, on the thing, on the live stream.
Change the subject.
What? No, I had to break it down. I was like, listen, you're disingenuous because you said that some of the people you've been with, you never told them. You get me? That that you're a Chinese.
Sam.
You get what I'm saying? It was like, oh well,
Sam,
get me.
I said that's kind of disingenuous, disrespectful,
Simon
all sorts of
Decepticon.
things. Because niggas will be thinking they're grinding coochie, and really they're all up in the niggas' guts.
Oh.
That's death. Man will kill man for that. And I gave the example of Jerry Springer.
Baby, wait, though.
Who was Jerry? Who was Jerry back in the day?
Jerry, what, Springer?
Springer.
I don't think.
We saw that.
I mean,
Bare people coming on there and then, I'm a man. And the other person like, what?
Hey, so Mackie. What was your thought of that whole fiasco that went down on Manny Cinder's channel the other day?
Yeah, I told Rat Boy to go fuck himself. Get me? I gave him that work when I came in earlier in the bar. It wasn't recorded, but yeah, he got that work from me. He was talking to Modine anyway. I just came in and said, bro, what's all that about? He was like, oh, yeah, I heard you were saying something about me. Yeah, I got some bars that said fuck Rat Boy at the end, and man ain't put it out yet. You get me? Now it's appropriate, innit? You get me? But anyway, no, I'm talking about the video you just made before I came, and I wrote fuck Rat Boy. So I'm saying fuck Rat Boy. You know what I'm saying? Because you're wrong to what you did to your brethren.
But
You
what
say
about
you're
his wife?
disabled.
What about his wife coming on the scene?
Nah, all that dead that. It's not a man's business. You get what I'm saying?
So Manny shouldn't have done that, really.
Yeah, it was kind of thing, but you kind of roll with the how you're filming the thing, innit? Because man's taking down the video.
Shall we get him on?
I know.
Okay. Yes, let's get him on.
Yeah. But no, it's
Mr.
dramatic.
Burns, excellent.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns.
Hey, that's my Manny Cinder voice, yeah?
No, but it was a mad thing, man. It was a mad thing.
Yo, if the shoe fits, because you got tradies on the thing and I'm wearing this tradie rooms on the scene.
Hey, man heard there's about 48 different genders though. Like,
what?
Man heard there's about 48 different genders. Like.
We need to get stay woke back in there, man.
Hey, nah, man. There was
That's
a
a
Donny
whole
earlier
other
man, that was
gender.
putting in work. He had the book.
Man are identifying as non-binary lesbians.
Yeah, and fluid and
Talking about the
liquid.
lesbian and Chinese.
Liquid. Is it fluid or liquid? One of them, anyway. But I said to it, he was saying it was separate from, you like the it, yeah. I said to it, yeah, is it, it was,
know what,
he was
though?
saying, no, sorry.
But saying that though,
You just got to inside out dick.
But Stephen
He was
King,
saying it was separate.
But Stephen
No,
King,
inside out
but
dick.
Stephen King
So I goes,
was
what?
an influence to the style though.
Hold on
The
one second.
style was a little bit Stephen King-ish with the red tick.
No, right. So I was like, hold on. You're saying that being gay is different from being a tranny. So, okay, LGBT. Oh, that's you, T, yeah? Q.
Yeah.
I don't know what
What's
that is,
Q?
but yeah.
Q's like confused, isn't it? Like query.
I
Oh,
don't know.
is that?
I don't know what Q is.
I had to give you
I don't
that
want to
to the
meet
game.
In the comment section, type in what Q
I'm
is.
fucked up at T. You get me? T is fucked up. Yeah. So I'm saying, all right, you're T. Ma, okay. Before you had the surgery, did you fancy men? Yes. So does that make you gay? Yes. So I said, then where's the difference?
You're
Where's the
just a
separation?
gay with an inside out dick. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Your
he
dick's
said-
inside out now.
no,
Before it was on the outside, your body, now it's in the inside. See,
He
you
said
still
to me-
got a dick. It's
he said to me-
inside you now.
He said to me,
The fuck?
That shit erecting and
you
fucking
have
up
to
my
watch
stomach
that.
and all
That's
that.
the 8-hour Manny Cinder stream. You go to the last hour. That's where Mike goes in and roasts
snap, you came in at the
Tranny,
end.
the
Simon.
Tranny anyway. Yeah, Simon.
With the inside out dick.
He killed it. He killed it. I ain't even watched all of it. I just watched the last hour where I roasted it. And he told me about Tavistock Institute and all this mind control shit
Not COE,
that I had
yeah.
to go through.
Velle Vision is saying
Mad thing.
your dick's inside out, cuz, in your belly.
Right.
So I don't want to hear that you're a girl.
Pause.
You're a man with a dick in your belly.
Triple pause on that.
Triple
man.
pause, quadruple. Get me? Ultra combo pause.
In Gary's belly. Yeah? And this man put his own dick in his own belly. Are you mad? Get out of here,
True.
man.
You bellied
Get the
yourself.
fuck out of here.
Oh.
I can't watch belly though.
Yeah, I can't watch
That DMX scene.
Look at your belly.
Fuck a tranny, man. This is all man. But it's just systemic of our culture. This is a gay country. It's fucked. Get me? Priests can be tranny. Anyone can. They don't care no more.
Well, that shit goes back, doesn't it? That's
What's going on?
Gay
Yeah.
activity.
But before, they used to like have, what do you call them? Lady boys. And
Let's read the
you
comments,
couldn't get the surgery. The surgery is what's really defining.
Any
the
questions
tranny.
in the comment
It's a
section?
deep thing, fam. To say you're going to cut off the thing. No go backs. And I said,
no, that's
it's
serious,
funny.
you know.
I said, no, you know what I said to the Johnny?
Your dick off?
No. So I'm saying,
would you even get a fucking earring in your dick?
No,
Yeah,
no, allow it.
that's what I'm trying to say, fam. Let
What I
alone
said-
cut it off, bro.
They're lucky I was young when they done the circumcision. I would have done that too.
I go, human beings, yeah.
I go, you suffer when he's older. When he's young,
I go, human
Cut
beings
that
are
shit
fickle.
off, cuz.
We're known to change our mind.
We are.
So I want to see you
Cut
10
it off,
years
you
from
know.
now.
Oh no.
Ooh,
Fucking raps
pissed.
and
No, but
shit like that.
that statement
Depression
made
and suicide.
as a man, that'd never happen. I ain't never touch my dick.
Man's not doing that.
Let
Yeah,
me turn the light, fam.
levels.
Turn the light, man.
Because depression, that's my brother. A G.
Oh, well, go ahead.
He deserved that juice.
Oh, you say you're bouncing, yeah?
Yeah. He put in work, man. He put in work today. You weren't having it from Danny Dyer and that.
Eastside, he was going out
Yeah,
here.
he's going at Danny Dyer and that. He roasted them, man. Proper.
Hey, say to Conte, he's a Hamite. Marshall Mathers.
Marshall.
Yeah,
You say Marshall?
Yeah, man.
Is that the real shady though?
Nah, it's the fake shady.
Fake shady.
It's the Moroccan one with a big. Marshall Mathers is in the
You're
chat,
telling
yeah.
me that.
He's got the shark nose, cuz.
He's got a full.
You know, like if he does backstroke in the swimming pool, yeah, the kids are gonna die about it. Ah, there's a shark! Daddy, there's a shark! There's a shark in the pool! Oh mate.
Oh shit. Velle's gunning you, man. It's peak for you, Marshall.
Hey, old time Marshall, man.
Come on, big up Marshall.
Come on.
Yeah,
We've been
man.
warring on Hangout since last year, you know.
Come on.
How come you've only got? Okay, yeah, that's the real one.
He needs to go here and
Yeah, man. Hey, there's two streams on, man. My brother's got a stream as well, you know.
Oh shit.
Running about around the park still. So it's double streaming right now, you get me? Right now you got Velle Vision. Yeah, on Maku. Yeah, got the main camera on, James and Issa.
Yeah.
They're putting in work right now.
And now someone's gonna get that roasting from me, so.
And right now we're talking about, hey, Wiley or Dizzy? Oh, come on, man, that is a hard question. Yo, man, then Wiley or Dizzy?
You know what? Me personally,
Wiley.
Wiley or Dizzy? Wiley or Dizzy?
Wiley for
We'll
the
recognise real, innit?
Wiley for the songs
For the
he makes,
original.
but for bars,
For the
Dizzy,
original.
innit?
Wiley for
Bars?
keeping it real the whole
No,
way,
but
and
when
Dizzy
it-
for
Are we talking
flip-flopping
music?
and shit.
Are we talking about music or are we talking about
Even
real
the
life?
music you
Talk about music.
Alright, but come on, bars, fam.
But
Can't
you know
beat
what,
the
yeah?
Can't be Wiley's got better
Can't beat
bars.
the
I
originator.
rate both of them, bro.
Yeah, they both
I
high.
definitely
No, you
rate
can't
both
beat
of
the
them.
originator.
Definitely rate both of them.
Dizzy's
Still.
a
They're both
student.
Wiley's
He's a
definitely
student of
the
Wiley,
boss
so-
of the grime thing though.
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Big brother.
But definitely, yeah.
But I saw an interview
Definitely
once,
rate
him
both.
saying he was like, oh, people have this image that I was his big brother when Mega Man did that thing, but this was on Vlad. I think this was on Vlad. Yeah, you saw that, yeah. And he was like, bro, he was like my older brother. He was leading the way. And when he was talking reckless and that, I was standing like, oh shit, like, okay, well, I guess you get it, it is what it is. But that just shows you how real even that era was, even that fucking So Solid era. Because man were getting lit.
Man said Mega or Tupac. Come on,
Yeah.
Came to my school and performed.
Shout out Mega Man.
No, but it shows though, you get me? Because
Yeah, big up my bait clone, man.
He's Mega.
Logless brother.
Just a bit taller though.
Logless brothers.
Yeah. It's a bit prettier than that. Yeah,
Mega's
But
man.
bare my cousins from South,
Mega's hard
little
still, yeah.
niece and nephew. She was like, yeah, we saw you on TV. Me on TV.
Oh, they thought he was
Mega
Mega Man.
Fuck you, man. Back in the day.
Mega Man's looted off though. You know?
Yeah.
He got dumb money.
He's
done
like
well.
CEO status.
Yeah.
You don't fuck around.
When you go on Jules Holland, it's levels, isn't it?
Hey, big up Marshall, man.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I'm in Morocco.
Now
I'm
you're
in
going
Morocco.
just triggering me.
Jules Holland playing the
I'm going
piano and
back to
that.
when I was
Yeah,
like
oh,
12 years,
shit. Hold on, wait. So solid
When I'm in
bars
Dam, I'm going to
with
come
piano.
and cash out my Muta contract.
Yeah, you made it.
That's what I said. That's when.
I'm going to cash in my Muta contract.
We got to give
In
Dizzy
Amsterdam,
we
you get
got to
me?
give Dizzy props, yeah. Why? Because if my man was cultivating, if Eski,
Let me hot a rod in his live chat.
if my man was cultivating the
Live right there. Let me
if
hot
my man was cultivating the underground, if my man was cultivating the overground,
He's in his fucking bedroom like
First,
always.
you know when he won that award?
Hey.
What was that award again? The music award he
He's
won.
crying about
And
the
his
white
album just
supremacists
went
that's crazy.
crazy. His album was out for a year, not even happened.
Hey, you know when I say Wagwan, he starts taking the piss, you know. He
speech.
goes, why are you saying Wagwan? You're packy. I said, well, that's Wagwan, isn't it? You're on the road.
Alright, old Ty Raj, man.
I ain't paying that bullshit, Jizzy.
He's made it bare
But
time.
nah, and Big Ardz is on his live stream now still.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
Jizzy alive. Yeah.
Jizzy alive, trust me.
Jizzy alive. Pigeon life.
Bro, I don't know how man be watching this thing. Same faces.
Come on.
Hey, he's talking about me already, look.
What's he saying?
This is why I like big Ardz. You know, I get along with big Ardz. He's a joker.
He tried snitching you first, it didn't work. And then he's like, alright, now I'll be your friend.
Raj, you're alright, yeah, but just fix up, innit? Come with some real language. I'm telling your people that. You can't hear me.
Okay, look, so solid or Kalashnikov? Slow solid or Kalashnikov? Someone's asking, so solid or Kalashnikov?
So
solid or Kalashnikov?
Yeah.
Kalashnikov.
Oh, Kailash. Kailash, your blood clot neck off.
Kalashnikov.
You got your answer. Clash.
Come on.
Shit, that was a good error, man.
Kailash, your rascal.
Kailash, rascal, neck off.
Trust me.
What kind of name is Big Ardz?
A big guy that's
What
hard.
Muslim needs to get their act straight?
You see, English people don't use the H.
If you're hard.
What did they say? What did they say? What did they say? What kind of name is what?
Big
Big
Ardz.
Ardz.
Tell him, bro, because I'm big. Tell him because I'm big and I'm hard, innit?
See, that's why.
You got
English in the English company of East London,
Not even
they
that,
don't
it's
use
just
H's.
abbreviation of my name, bro.
Get me?
Yeah, I'm big and hard, though.
I'm hard,
Alright,
mate.
mate.
I'm hard.
Alright,
Yeah, you know I'm hard.
Yeah, I'm hard as fuck.
I'm hard. I'm
No,
hard
we
as
do.
fuck.
Wait,
No,
Harry.
Yeah.
Come on, let's fuck off.
Harry, not Harry.
Yeah.
Harry.
No one says Harry.
Up the Harry.
Where's Vinny?
That's Chelsea. That's King's Road, isn't it?
He's following me around.
Yeah, it's my man's dog still, man.
Yeah,
Where's
the
he?
brother. I see the brother.
Yeah, there. He's a good dude still, man.
Because I pet in it earlier, so he come back.
Questions, guys. Got the questions, man.
Go on then. Get some questions, man. What are you saying, you lot? You got questions for Mac and Big
Questions
Ardz?
for Maku and Big Ardz, y'all.
We're in there. You get me?
I know, man.
Yeah, obviously, everyone's shouting at Big Ardz.
Middlesex Omar's in the house as well.
Especially the Islamophobes are even shouting.
Yeah, you know what it is? Them man think I'm on that tip, bro. I'm
Yeah,
on that tip fully.
You're just on trying to be truth, innit? You're just on truth. Like, right. Man done truth though, still. Like he said, bruv. Man said, right.
You and Betty have your own
Bless,
promotion,
fam.
guy. Allow it, man.
Anytime.
Oh, yeah, done now, yeah?
You know when I'm there, bro.
Yeah, you baited him up.
He's cool, man.
Where's Modine? Where's Modine? They're asking where's Modine?
And he can be friends with Betty. That's cool, man.
Listen, I'm not
What
endorsing
you say- what you saying,
They got their
Marshall?
own thing going on, innit? It's got nothing to do with
Deadpool worm.
Ah, come on, man.
Yeah, that little Deadpool.
You know what happened with Betty? You know what happened with Betty though, man? Betty's just like, you try to be cool, everything, innit? And then next thing you know, she's just gonna start switching. She feels like she can chat to you however she wants, and you
Coming
can't
from
chat to her.
hundreds
No
of miles
way.
away. That doesn't make
way.
sense. You know what I mean? That's a form of
No, but
psychosis.
that's
You
dope,
don't
man.
know people from Adam.
Yeah, man.
You
Everyone's got to do
everything
what they
say
got to do,
about
though,
them.
cuz you get me.
You get me? Oh, you're a jailbird. You're a da-da-da. Yeah? Well, you're a fucking... What's that, what's that thing called?
She's gonna give you pepper.
That's why I come out the way. I said, I'm not even on the camera.
Hey, Big Ardz ain't gonna get no shitu. When he goes Manchester, he's gonna get no shitu, no fufu.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, man. You're not getting no Nigerian food when
You
you
don't
go.
want that smoke.
You know, no Nigerian food now when you go out there. Yeah? Come on. Yeah, these lots are just trolling each other, fam. They're not even like
concentrating on what's
yeah,
going on.
they're not even talking about what's going on, fam. Like, we're having our own conversation. Man ain't even looking in the
I know.
Yeah. The chat's just doing what it's saying.
Mods are in there
Question
beating
to
man up.
Maku, yeah?
Leon, man, this
What
is
is
Velle.
the 5 pillars of Islam? Thank you, Leon. I don't know what that is.
You know what that is, man. If you don't know, then you shouldn't be asking.
No, I know what it is. I mean, I don't know what he meant by thank you, Leon. I'm getting that. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
bigger. It's Velle Vision, y'all.
Come on, Bia. Biatch.
Clear joke.
5 Velle Vision.
Bigger,
You say
let
my
me.
G?
Let man challenge Maku to a rap battle.
Who? Rap man.
Rappers want smoke on a rap battle with
Marshall, I swear you duppied him already,
That
though.
video's on...
That was on the old school Raspberry live stream, innit?
Yeah, Raspberry
Oh my god, that shit was cringe as
That was
fuck.
funny, innit?
That was the cringiest shit.
He started spitting Marshall Mathers bars,
I know, it's
Eminem
terrible,
bars and
it's
that.
terrible.
He really thinks he's Marshall Mathers and that.
Played Marshall.
You know, you have to sort of make the raps up. You have to make the rhymes up yourself.
Yeah.
At least.
You have to make your own rhymes up.
Even if they're shit,
just
make them up yourself.
This isn't get a fucking Tupac lyrics on the screen and start
Karaoke.
rapping. Hit them up to someone. Yeah,
Man's
you
on
got to do your own
karaoke
bars.
mode. Yeah. You can't be on karaoke mode like us.
Man said, I do have a friend named Cheddar Barb who shot himself in the leg, and I was like, huh? Hey, 8th mile. Yeah, and you're in Morocco. Interesting.
Moroccan man.
At least change your name, man, so we don't have to clock what it is.
You know what it is, Eminem.
He's like Matthew can't spit. Hello,
Moroccan
hello.
Mavis.
Alright.
Moroccan Mavis. What? You can't spit? What? You said that? You said that?
Same guy, man.
You said
Same
that?
guy. Go, get him, get him.
What's your Mavis?
Get in the light, though. Let's get in the light, at least.
Keep your hands low, yeah?
Oh, why, what?
You know you got haters in there still.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, cigarette.
Nah, not you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's you. Go on, set it off. Let me get a beat.
God, then we were saying, hey, yo, we're gonna have what's it called? What do we call it again?
The rap off.
G Cypher, yeah, G Cypher. We're having the G Cypher live, yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah, man.
Maku's gonna G Cypher right now. Man like Maku.
Man,
Put some grime on, some Maku to get some grime.
anything, fam. Better put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name. Hey, old tight Olive. Olive Media. Man like Olive.
Hold tight, go live.
No, you're in the back, cuz. You're in the back, cuz.
No, he likes jungle.
Hey, he's gonna put jungle on.
I'm gonna try and find some jungle for you, brother.
the bass. Lord. You get me? What you don't know nothing about jungle?
It's mad. Who loves Moroccan chicks?
Hold on, that's not what I'm looking for.
As long as they ain't crazy, it's all good.
Trust me, I don't like the crazy ones, fam. Especially the crazy ones in Amsterdam.
All women are beautiful.
With clogs.
Women from all countries that are beautiful.
I don't like them Moroccan chicks in Amsterdam with clogs. In the blue light district.
You want some jungle?
I want some hip hop, man.
Go on. Hey, saying blue light districts and clogs. Sketty live.
Big up content over everything.
Come on.
Because everything is everything.
Hey, where's Getty gone though? He was here a second ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's over there with them.
Content over everything.
Hey, Getty.
Hey, Getty. Come on, my G. Are you filming?
I don't know why man's playing this music. I don't need no beat anyway.
Straight acapella, yeah?
Get me, straight acapella. Get me. Hey. Yes, it's Mikey the old school. That's why me take Marshall for a fool. Hey, you mean you have to go at school? Cause you're acting like a blood clot fool. Hey. You're going real slow, running up your mouth from Morocco. Hey, you don't have no flow. Try to be Muslim Muffers, but your brain's too slow.
Hey.
See how they put the camera on me?
Come on.
Hey.
Come on. Man like Getty. Get in there with them.
Let's big up Stevie Hyper.
Come on.
Yeah, the greatest MC of all time.
Come
straight.
on. It's like
Anywhere you
ding
see
ding ding
me,
ding 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 ding
Let me know, me zing ding ding, no diggy diggy dum conversion. Me say Oliver style, Oliver lyrics. Fly from Metan, man, what we gon' do, smash up the land with the magnificent. Man. Stevie Hyper that talk out the town, and make the people in ball and shout and get into this. Watch this.
Jeez. Remember Stevie Hyper, you know?
We do the beat. Steve Austin, yeah. I hear that beat. Where's the beat? Is that the beat here?
Yeah. Coming a little bit closer.
No one can even hear that
No,
shit.
Getty, just blank me.
Oh.
You know Ricky. You don't remember.
From where?
Anyway.
1 minute. Let me go on. Baseline. We'll level like this. Into the room, Kawasoni and Chris. Jungle. You could never this. If you do that, you're through my fist. Hey, bad boy, now me, I give this. Now lyrical jungle is straight into this. Make your body groove. Improve in the mood. We're gonna put you in a good mood because we're glued up. Where did we stop? King of the club. Said you can't get enough. Velle. Yeah, you're off. Mix up pop and we rub it up. And that's how we need and that's how we love. Jungle Diamond is above. You're in the place. King Club. Stevie Hyper. King Club. Best in the West End. Nobody touch sound. Whatever the West End. A summer fresh. Nobody mix up in any contest. With that DJ that put the next. Mixing tune what's coming in next in effect. Loving the record. Let me get right in effect. Content in effect. Hey, that's the Hyper, the greatest jungle artist, greatest rapper, period. Hyper D, energy.
Outside Sergeant, yeah, we got to go jab center. Jab center in the morning, mate. Hey!
Rocky!
Come on.
Drum and bass massive. Yes. No, remember this one? Remember the one? Sometimes it makes you feel low. Money in your pocket and there's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Sometimes it makes you feel low.
That's when they used to be that like.
Old school jungle.
That's it.
Remember the skiing? I swear.
I hate that one.
Sorry, man. I had to do a quick jungle skank.
What about this one?
Hey.
What about this one? Feel that one? Elbows everywhere. Motherfuckers do this. Motherfuckers do
The
that.
swinging elbows and that. Come on. It's that one. The running on the spot.
Mad white boys in America where they go to them heavy metal stomps and they're all mad and jumping
yeah.
each other.
Mosh pit.
Mad, you know.
Yeah, that's it. If you fall in that, you're finished. Yeah, falling. I've seen that get stuck. It's cracking.
Outside the jungle, it's massive.
Selfish DJ.
Put some instrumental on, man. Put a beat on. 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 That's what I said. Put a beat on.
Hey, what, Kalam, come MC, man. Hey. Come MC to jungle.
Look at the movie.
I said Cameron. Look at the Cameron Robinson. Look at the Cameron Robinson. Look at the Cameron Robinson. Look at the Cameron Robinson.
Hotline bling going on.
Come on in, this game, man. Someone.
Come in.
Come in. Make a mo track, please, yeah?
It's a little bit too fast. I'm saying it's a little bit too fast. That's why jungle went
Hey,
the fuck
old Ty
out.
Razza, yeah?
I had his
Man
time
come
to the
straight
left.
in and said, Muta, anyone?
I know. The old days. Get me. Get me. Cut.
Come, where's the debate?
What'd you say?
Let's talk about some subject.
Get him!
No, you don't
What
look
am I
tired.
saying in the chat?
Hey, what are you saying? You finished? Let me just turn off my brother's camera. Where's Leon? Hey, one sec. I've just got to turn off this camera. Hey, come on, we're back in the skank now. How you mean? How you mean? Velle Vision is back on the scene, and we're blood clot clean. And we rinse out machine. How you mean? Come in. Yeah, we got 2 channels, B. This is the channel for if you want crud, stay with Velle Vision. Yeah, if you want crud, stay with Velle Vision. If you want intellectual debates, people talking pompous
Crud over everything.
Go on to the other live stream. Right now, this is crud sessions, isn't it? Come on. Hey. Show your face. Show your face. Show me. Show me. Show me. No. 7-8 swine. Show me.
He's the African. He brings the African. He brings Nigeria back when he does this one. Bring it.
Hey. Show me your face. Show me. Please. Stop begging, man. Shut up. You tramp. Brush your teeth, man.
Let's get some showbiz in the
Hey,
chat.
Marshall Mathers' teeth look like fucking bananas, cuz they're yellow. Fam.
And I can do the best dance, man.
Hey, cuz.
Yeah, we're gone, man. We're gone.
You got tap? Got tap with the tunes? Come on. Oh, mate.
Oh, he just walked off.
Yeah,
And
he's
lost
nice,
his
bro.
dog. Where's his dog?
His dog's with him, man. Yeah, he's gone, man.
Yes, man. Big up, man.
Yeah, man.
Content over everything. Velle
I'll type
Vision.
Sia, man.
You know what it is.
Sia's mum's uncle Jamal. She got 4 teeth on the side, 4 teeth at the back. And they're all brown and doodoo like bits of shit. Hey, you know.
Big up content.
Come on.
Big up Velle.
Come
Big
on.
up the rest of the gang fam and anybody with the authentic love in their heart who want to see goodness prosper in the world and who's banning out all the hatred, yeah? Content
Gang.
over everything. Content over everything.
From you have the melanin.
Never you start giving it.
Hey.
Jah give you everything.
I do a bigger Velle version, man.
We
need to do a little like
man.
bigger
Get
Velle
me on
version.
V.E.L.L.E. One of the CEO to the
The footage you
COE.
can't see on the telly.
Trust
Take
me.
it higher than any R. Kelly.
Hey, burn out R. Kelly, my youth. Me no want no R. Kelly in my verse.
Get some flames. Can we get some flames up in the chat?
Yeah, but big up man like Getty though, man.
Swines and all sorts.
He said for burn out R. Kelly. But big up Getty.
We out.
Let me do one more.
Gone.
Them not ready for the lava splash. Them not ready for the lava splash. Too much for lava, that's why them crash. Inna the pit, them get dash. Well, Babylon get bun without doubt. Man from the getty, I go open him mouth. I go drink one jug and stout and then a zoot in a mouth, I'm out. Them not like it when me go fan device get ground. Extra, everybody them a shout. That boy over there, them lava loud lava now come from them mouth. Lava where we have a bun them out. That's why they don't like we. That's why they try fight we. Them have a knife, them one knife we. Well, I said it's not lightly because we work for the Almighty. No say we large in charge. John no say we never flex tiny. Again, them not ready for lava splash. Them not ready for the lava splash. Too much for lava, that's why them crash. In the pit, they get dash.
Lexi, fire.
Content over everything. Big up Mr. Rax as well, the shooter.
Come on. Super sessions, man.
Big up Saeed. Get me. Big up your channel. Come on,
yeah, big up Saeed, man. Big up, man.
Oh, yes, my brother. You got
Yeah, big up, man. Like so.
Assalamu alaikum to the audience and everybody.
I didn't know you can live stream from the same account too. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, 2 times.
I didn't know that.
Man, that's how we do, man.
That's crazy.
Yo, big up TWXYZZ.
It's the crowd stream. Television, we got the crowd stream over there, yeah.
Sierra Oscar.
We're just dissing and talking shit.
It's hard to find over here. They ain't really user friendly, but we get there in the end, you know.
Come on. Jeez.
Yo, what's cracking lately? Where's the brother? Where's
Yeah, man, I don't know, man.
Get Modine.
Yeah, where's Modine at, man?
Get Modine.
Coming in. Let's run up. I got to walk with the light and that, you know. Man's rolling with the light and that. Yes, my brother. Modine. There he is. See how he's already streaming on the other camera, fam. You can see him on there. I log on to see how he's other streaming. Alright, let's troll someone else then, man. Who should we troll?
There he is, right there.
Yeah, but he's on my other live stream.
He's not hungry for the modo.
Man, he's not on the Velle Vision live stream, man. If you wanna see Modine, jump on COE's other live stream. That's Modine running right now. Like,
oh, is you got your other
who else should we run up on, man? Let's run up on someone else, man. Velle
We
Vision.
have to leave you out,
Velle
man.
Vision has to run up on us.
You missed the 8th season, B.
Fuck that. Let's run up on someone else, man. Let's run up on James. Jamie. Yes, bro. Bless you. Coming in, what are you talking about? White supremacy? Is white supremacy on the menu today?
Yeah, why not? Should we talk about white supremacy? I don't know what to talk about. What's that to talk about? Oh, you know what? Oh, no, I don't.
Go on then.
You're not the right audience.
Go on,
sorry.
start it. Go on.
Leon's good. Who's this? It's not Liam. Leon's channel, though.
Yeah.
It's
Come on, say it. Say it.
James
said white people in the dark.
No, I'll say this. I'll say
Come
I'll
on,
put
say
it
it.
this way. In my opinion, right? Maybe we'll have a bit of discussion about this. I'll see what you think about this. Maybe agree, but anyway, in my opinion, I think that the people, the indigenous people of a place, should have the right to decide who lives there. So, for example, let's take, this is just theoretical because it's not how Western countries work. But I think it would be ideally in Britain, for example, take me, I'm Jewish, right? So Orthodox Jews don't mix with non-Jews. So I think, there's only one political system, it's not two political systems, but I think ideally we should vote for only things that are internal to the country. We shouldn't vote to decide who comes into the country, because we're not mixing in with the regular British people, right? And same thing to anybody that's not unless you're coming and joining with the British people. I don't think they should have a right to vote to decide who comes into the country, because then you're not. Then the people that are indigenous to the country don't have control over their own country. That's my opinion. What do you think?
It's quite a tricky distinction because you can't distinguish between the people who come and want to mix with the native population.
Yes.
But like how
Where do
would
you
you
draw the
measure?
line?
Yeah, how would you measure
I
that?
don't know. It's a principle. How you do it in practice, you'd have to make a line somewhere. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just a principle. It's
Yeah.
a principle. But
Would
there
would
are
that be
clear-
worldwide though? Would that be worldwide? So would that be in African countries? Could they say they don't want people in their country?
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say you shouldn't be in the country. I'm Jewish. I
No,
don't
no,
want
no.
to be
But I'm
kicked
saying,
out
would
of
they
England.
say they don't? Could
Right?
they say the same thing as well? Though?
Yeah, I think that any country they should have a difference between voting for what happens inside the country, and like that's what Israel is. That's exactly what Israel is. In Israel, only Jews. The law is the law of return only applies to Jews, right? So if you're Jewish, you can come to Israel. But in Israel, right, anyone who's not Jewish has exactly the same rights as anybody else. And when they vote, they all vote equally, so they can affect the political system, and they can be, a Muslim can be on the courts. It could be one of the head judges is a Muslim, right? But when it comes to the law of return, right, that law is enshrined in the law, and that can't change because they're always going to make sure, because the numbers will ensure that they'll always be voting in the right numbers, that they can't be outvoted.
Do you think it should be done on the amount of time that you've been in each country? For example,
No.
if
The
you
answer's
went
no.
over, well, some people go over and set their lives up in different countries
Yeah.
for like 4, 6, 10 years.
So that's what I'm saying.
And then they're not allowed the same rules as that country. And it's like, well, hang on a minute.
No.
We live there.
No, well, that's what I'm explaining to you. They have exactly in Israel is the example I'm talking about, because in Israel you have absolutely every single law is exactly the same. The only difference is somebody that's not Jewish won't automatically become an Israeli citizen, right? That's the only difference. So, for example, in Britain, right, I'm not saying that non-British people, non-native people, should have different laws. No, 100% should be 100% the same
No, I'm
law.
not saying about different rules.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I mean, doing it on time as opposed to where you were born. At the minute, it's done on where you were born.
I don't think it should make a difference how much time. I think it should be a matter about integration. If you're not integrating into the society, like I was born here, my parents were born here, and their parents were born here. So I'm 3 generations Jewish.
Yeah, but now we've got so much movement.
But my point is,
worldwide.
what I'm saying. Let me finish your point. What I'm saying is, if you're Orthodox Jewish, yeah, you're not going to be mixing in with the regular population. I don't feel that we should have the right to decide, right, other people whether they should come into the country or not. Because we're not mixing into the regular population. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Can I ask a question?
You've been here, like you said, for decades.
But we've been here for decades, but we've not been mixing. We've kept our own communities.
Hey, Nosson, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where's your family from originally? That?
So before 3 generations, Russia and Poland. Father's side's from Russia, mother's side's from Poland. Yeah.
So how did you get to be Jewish from Poland? I don't really get that.
That's like saying, how did I get to be Jewish from England? They weren't originally. Now I'm in England. Before that, I was from Poland. Before that, they were in Germany. Before that, they were in Rome, and before that, they were in Israel. Over 2,000 years.
They've moved
yeah.
from Israel 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And
but there's been some admixture with the local populations, but not because they've been mixing, but because they became converted to Judaism. It's more on the female side. That happened.
Who's Kalam? Kalam's not here, bruv.
I was trying to pick you more about not about generations or decades. What I meant is, with so many people in the world now, one sort of rule fits all for everyone. People are moving all over the place. A lot of people don't even have a fixed home.
Can I ask you a question? Do you believe in no borders?
Yes.
Okay, well there you go.
No.
Yeah, but wait. Who created the borders in the first place? Who's determines these borders in the first place?
Yeah, every country's got its border anyway, but even they're starting to just get millions of people go across. But I think people should have the right and ability to move wherever they go.
Yeah.
However, I think that having the same rights as that country comes down to how long you've been in that country.
Yeah, I don't agree. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah, but a lot of people are going over, taking all their life from here to another country, all their possessions, and then that country is going, right, you're part of us, you're entitled to it all. Then something happens, and suddenly, bang, they just get kicked out of the country, all their possessions left.
But that's not what I'm saying. It's a straw man argument. I'm saying that if somebody lives in a country, once somebody is accepted in a country, you should have every single right exactly like anybody else, right? I'm not claiming something like in Islam you have something like the jizya, where you don't have equal laws to people that are Muslims and not Muslims. I'm not saying something like that, right? I'm saying that if you live in a country, you should have 100% the rights exactly the same, except for one thing, and that is to decide for other people to come into the country. So that should be a separate, somehow it should be a separate legal process. So for example, if you
Type
had...
the question again, Marshall.
What?
Sorry.
No, so for example, let's say if you had the person that would be voted for, let's say, for the exterior, what's it called?
Foreign minister.
Yeah, the foreign minister. You might have a separate vote for that, and then only natives could vote for that. For example.
I think what you're saying.
I'm an Indian. Hey.
But it can be used, kind of, obviously, with people come in, they've not contributed anything to the country at all, hardly, and you're expecting every country to just, every government to go, yeah, no worries, we'll give them every right that everybody else has got. When
no,
they've
as
actually...
a citizen, not just because they've walked in. I mean, if they're accepted as a citizen.
See, this is the thing.
I don't mean if somebody just walks into a country, legal immigrant. I'm not saying that they should automatically accept them as citizens.
What I was coming from is, I'm in some agreement with what you're saying, that they should have rights. But obviously, if they get here, what I was on about time was like they should have basic rights when they get here.
Oh yes, yes, I see what you're saying. Of course.
And then after so many, 6 months, they get an upgrade to what else they have, because you can't just have the same rights as housing. Like otherwise you'd have immigrants come in and next week they'd have a house and all the British people would be out on the streets.
No, of course,
which they are.
we already have that system. Yeah, exactly. But we already have that system, right? It's basically, all these. If you offer a job, right, and you want to get job seekers allowance, if you come here as a visitor, you can't get that. So we already have that system established.
Like Arabia and stuff like that. They've got obviously a two-tier system in some countries, one for them and one for the other non-people from their country.
Right, yeah.
But the
non-Saudi Arabians.
But the problem is, even though that people that have been there for like 10 years, 15 years, maybe even more, they can just be treated like they're nothing to do with the country suddenly, because of actually that's how the law is set up.
So what's your point?
My point is they obviously, in their own rights, and it's quite right that they take care of their own people. They're doing right by that to take care of their own people first, in theory.
Yeah.
However, I see the advantage of what you're saying about Israel and that. No, I see the advantages you say of Israel with one rule, but also from the government and that, see that they're just going to stand there and go, you're not going to convince all the governments that it's good to give all the rights straight to someone who just turns up. It ain't right. You don't know these people. They
that's
might.
my point.
So how to sort of fix that in every country is why I said instead of doing it like two-tier, instead of just giving them everything, is to say, look, when you get here, you've got for the first three months, wait 3 months until you get housing. You've got to be,
Yeah, but I think what you're discussing now is the process of somebody becoming a citizen, right? But that's not really what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about whether people want to become assimilated.
I'm talking about long term. I'm talking about long term. You're talking about short term. I'm talking about long term. What you're talking about is already in place, okay? So if somebody comes to visit a country, they don't become a citizen just because they're there for a few months, right? If they want to become a citizen, they have to apply for citizenship, and if they're not a criminal or whatever it is that they're looking for.
I'll tell you now, it's easier for a foreigner to get sorted out here than it is for a British person
who hasn't
got a home.
That's not because the system. That's just because the system in principle. It's the way the system has been applied. So yeah, I agree with you.
It's nothing against the people that are coming and getting that, and nothing against.
I agree. If I look at the people on the streets, right? But they're not Jews on the streets. They're not Asians on the streets. They're
English.
white. They're English.
But not to put them down or anything like that. Look, we are getting more and more people every day. Worldwide, we're becoming so integrated that we can't just say, right, we're going to take care of our own first and then second you lot, because everybody's so mixed now. You know, everywhere, all over the world, you've got a mix of all different. You go to somewhere like Dubai, you've got pretty much every type of nationality there. Same here, same every country.
Okay, I would argue like this, right? I would argue that you've got places that are very white. I'm talking about India, right? You've got places that are very white. You've got places that are very segregated, like the Islamic community and the Jewish community, and then you've got many places that are very mixed, right? So you've got different things. If you've got a mixed, if something's mixed, right? I would call that British because they have already assimilated in society and within each other. But communities like the Muslim community and the Jewish community and the Sikh community, right? They are any community that keeps to themselves are not mixed within British society. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if somebody comes from Italy and from Africa and from here, all around the world, but they're mixing all together. Then as long as they're born here, they're British citizens, right? Or I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. This idea of where you're born actually doesn't really mean anything anymore. Especially if you go out of the country and you start your life up somewhere else, and you decide you actually, according to this government, you've broken ties. You've gone there to live and decided you want to spend your life there. Then you end up back here because some unknown reason you end up back here, and they go, sorry, according to us. You know.
Well, not if you keep your British citizenship. That's not true.
No, you don't. You're sat here unless
that's not correct.
If you turn up on this border, right?
Yeah.
I've had it happen, right?
But did you give up your British citizenship?
No.
So that's crazy. I lived 8 years in China. They didn't say to me, "You're not British anymore." I don't know.
No, but I came back and I myself effectively got started back off ground zero. Right? You might have your passport, but you've got no.
But I don't know if that is in principle or they're just applying. They're just making a decision ad hoc.
This is a nationwide, and it's going on in other countries.
Well, that's terrible.
But that's why you got all these people out in the streets.
That's terrible.
And that's
I'm
why
not
saying
surprised
about.
I've seen it. I'm not surprised. It's disgusting.
It's getting worse day by day.
It's disgusting.
So my point was not to challenge you about Israel's policy or this policy, is to turn around and sort of say, well, something needs to be rethought because this is really buggering place up all over the world.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
And that was what I was saying. I don't agree that I think it's nice, it's very nice somewhere like Israel to have, right, everybody's the same. But let's be honest, a person can just turn up, fleece a system if they're clever enough. Yeah, they didn't turn up and go, I'm
Jewish?
No, someone who turns up in Israel could walk out and go, well, I'm entitled to a house, this, that, that, bang.
They can't.
But that's what it sounds like.
No, I didn't. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying. No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that somebody who is a citizen. I didn't say it's easy to become a citizen.
Right.
Right? I made it very clear that if you're Jewish, it's very easy to become a citizen. If you're not Jewish, it's very difficult to become a citizen.
So if someone turns up and says they're Jewish,
then they can become a citizen very easily.
They get a citizenship and then they just decide to coin it in for a couple of years.
Yeah, but if that was a problem, then maybe they'd make new rules. But at the moment, it's not an issue, so they don't worry about it.
You still need to do military service if you use the right to return.
Exactly. They would have to do exactly. Nobody really wants to be an Israeli unless you're gonna really use it. There'd be no benefit for me to just go live in Israel for a few years and get some benefits and then.
I think regarding citizenship, for me, having been here for a long time and somewhere else, my citizenship is effectively split because I chose somewhere else for a while and that was going to be my setup. But because that country said, well, hang on a minute, you're not a citizen of ours, so you don't get the rules, I got, hang on a minute, and back here they went,
but that's
well, you're not anything to do with us either because you're...
I'm not looking after their own people, I'm against that.
To be honest, the embassy was lacking.
Against that.
They did, in my view, sort of say, well, we can't help you, but their point was, I was in that grey area.
Yeah, they're busy bringing in everybody from around the world, but they can't look after their own citizens.
Well, this is what I mean.
So yeah, I agree.
You've got exactly a similar point to me, but the point I was making was people are moving around so quick now. Citizenship isn't down. They're not choosing to be somewhere just because they were born there and they want to have a house there for the rest of their life and all, and stay near their family. People are relocating at such a rate now and deciding 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then getting booted out like they've not even been there 3 months because they've got none in the law. And that was what I was on about.
Okay. So I lived in China for 8 years, yeah, and I can tell you that people that lived there for all their life, yeah, do not become Chinese citizens. If you're not Chinese, you won't become a Chinese citizen.
They don't
even
need to.
I know about people that even helped in the war, and I'm talking about they're like 80 years old now, and like many of them still didn't get Chinese citizenship.
And that's what I think is wrong. That's why I'm saying about having
But that's because you also don't believe in borders. So we come from a very, very different place.
I believe in not stopping people across borders.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
The difference is you'd still be able, let's be honest, they've got CCTV everywhere. They know every moment you go.
I still believe in having pretty looking maps with like lines on them.
Yeah, I
the
love
lines
those
don't
lines.
mean anything.
Yeah, but those lines, those borders for administration, for paperwork, still going to be there, right? The problem is
just to register who's come in. But, yeah,
you don't need to. You've got CCTV everywhere, face recognition, you've got computers, man.
Type 1 to chill, 2 to move.
Do you think that around London they don't know exactly who you are, exactly which shop you go in, how long you stand
But
there?
you're probably more against that than
Every
the
person that's robbing in these shops, I guarantee you, will at some point they'll come up to you and go, "Yeah, we had you. We just decided to let you get away with it for a while, you know." But on a bigger scale, globally,
they have said, we are British. We don't have any other homelands. We don't have any other allegiance.
So global scale with borders, similar thing. It's like, why does anybody need to worry? You've got millions of people coming from Europe that can make it to Britain illegally without passports and documents, and then you've got British people sat there going, "Oh well, I can't get out of the country because this rule and that rule." You're going, "Yeah, you can. Millions can get in, millions can get out."
No, I'm not saying
it's happening already. My point is, why does why does anybody have to really worry about the borders? Borders could still be there, but why is it costing money to get across? If this person hasn't got work here and they go away and they go to another country and start earning money, then they're not sat on your streets making the place rotten. They're not annoying anyone or causing too much problems and hassle and crime, and they can go somewhere else where they're needed. I think borders are it's a bit of an issue, I suppose.
Why do you think there's an issue? Why do you think's causing this issue?
I think money. People trying to earn money off the borders instead of actually looking at like, well, hang on a minute, trades being, you see all the buildings shut down in every town, village, city, lots of them everywhere. That businesses are all going down, whole areas are just disappearing. So yeah, I'm just like sat there going,
It's a good principle.
I think it's a big issue
because
it's like holding them in these areas, like almost like open prisons. When if you let them go to other areas, what the heck, you let them go to another country where they want to, but a lot of them are being held back. It's not earning anybody any extra money. If anything, it's stopping people from earning money. But I think money itself is a big problem. People are making the decisions based on obviously how much they can earn out of it, and they're trying to earn lots of money very, very quickly.
Why do you think people are so desperate to earn so much money? Why do you think the situation is like this?
I think a lot of people realise that the world is at a point now maybe where it's to almost...
I want to ask you, but I want to ask James and
I think it's because the world's got to a point where it's like it's got so many people, it doesn't know what to do to manage it all properly. It's getting to that point where it's almost unmanageable, and it's trying to split mankind between those who have money and those who have basically been booted off the system, the ones that you see all the way around the town that are sleeping out and stuff. Now, it's a good idea in some ways because you sort of separate it. Some can go and do whatever they want and have maximum freedom without money, and the others, they have loads of money, but obviously they have to have all their details by the system. The problem at the minute is you've got people that have ended up off the system completely, but when they sort of there's a problem and the law authorities or other people like that suddenly need to give them something, they can't. So literally there are people that are getting knocked out of work, out of homes and being held outside by this system right in front of everybody's eyes, and it's because literally the system doesn't know how to give them back anything, because the system itself is literally set up about taking. The whole point of the system is to take more from somebody else than you give them. So if you make something for £100, well, you're not going to sell it to them for less, are you? You're going to try and make a profit, and everybody's out there doing it.
But that's see what the question was here was why do you think there's a system like this in place? Where
because the people who are running it throughout history have all been the very wealthy, educated. The private schoolers, the MPs from very well-to-do families, and they've been trying to get the poorer classes to give them the answers through clever things like schooling, and when you do your college courses and stuff and your university, all that paperwork that you do, all those exams and that, and everything that you study, they get their answers from you. You're telling them the answers that they don't know, because they only know from their, most of them from a privileged point of view. I'm not saying all MPs are very rich or just from rich families, but the majority over, the past hundreds of years have been. Now, out at the minute on the streets, there are people who already know the answers to all your problems that you're having come up every day. And I've spoken to many people, and they just sit there and go, yeah, we knew this like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we all know it. And they'll give you the answers. They already know it, but the fact is, they can't almost give you the answers. Because the reason they know is because of their experience at the bottom of the system, having to go through living hell in some ways, in that way. So even if they tell these people, the MPs don't know how to put it into practice. Now, of course, MPs and government, I'm going to go out there and suddenly start picking these people up off the streets and giving them what they get, and they can't, because these people have got so used to living without money, most of them, that suddenly you give them money and it's, a lot of them just, like, well, what do I do with it? And that's why you get the problem with the drugs and the drink. So, to try and it's quite a difficult thing. Some people think it's just government wants to not give a damn. The people out on the streets might think that. But the people out on the streets will admit, if you give them money, what do they do? If you give them normal salary, like someone else, £25,000 a year, and they've been out on the streets with nothing for 10 years, they've just won the lottery every day. So,
everything else has already been filmed.
Yeah, I get that you've got to build some people back up, but these people out here are the ones with all the answers for the people in governments and all that, and vice versa. But it's trying, the two types of people are almost splitting apart. So we could end up with a two-tone world if it carries on much longer, the way it's looking.
Yeah, B.
That's it.
Alright. Well, I wanted to ask Jamie the same question still, but
I never really got far into that, yeah? But I just want to make it clear cut as daylight, that it could not be referring to sperm. It's referring to a liquid, and the way I've done that is because the sperm has been mentioned. So, yeah, I'm not saying that it's a scientific miracle, but I am excluding that word due from that process.
Okay, all right. I'll try and track those claims thoroughly.
Yeah, please
but,
do.
I mean, just straight up while we're here, like, why do you think the two words don't refer to sperm though? Like, just because God didn't use, the author of the Quran didn't use the word nafsa in both cases, and another time he said amina. Like,
I don't know if it's amina. It's just like it could be the next word.
But couldn't that liquid also be referring to sperm?
Okay, yeah, but from our like logical point of view, why didn't you use that same word? You chose to name it an unnamed liquid. Why? Why did you do that when you earlier on told us
don't
that
bring
you
your
got a word
private stuff into camera, man.
that? But later on, you chose your own vernacular to purposely saying an unnamed liquid, a liquid, an anonymous liquid.
Like,
so that's why I'm saying it. I'm saying, well, hold on a minute.
What if it's for the sake of poetry?
Okay, yeah, bro.
You know, like they often say, oh, the poetry of the Quran is so beautiful. Like maybe it sounded better.
Could possibly be. And that's a very nice angle to come with, and we can check it out and say, oh, actually that rhymes perfectly. But interestingly enough, it doesn't choose the word sperm. And interestingly enough, there is a word for that.
So the fact is, when people go
before.
You get really scared
that
about
would be a good one. Oh well, he plays it to make the rhyme go well. But again, then don't infer if that's your only evidence to say, because you've got no evidence then, really. Do you know what I mean? But what would be great?
They also describe this liquid as being what kind of causes life.
Absolutely. So that's the next mission we've got to do. Is to see is there some sort of liquid back there that does that? And if there is, what are you going to do?
If there is, then that would be impressive. But as far as we know, like, you know, the only, you know, we've like humans have investigated reproduction quite a lot, and you know the liquids that you need to reproduce is you know, jizz or sperm. Like it contains the spermatozoa, and you know,
just jizz.
If you're gonna say if you're gonna say it like a liquid gushing forth kind of oh man, do you not consider that you were created from a liquid gushing forth like that? I mean, it seems as though it's probably talking about sperm.
Okay, so remember now, yeah? Remember, yeah? Because you kind of went on a tangent there. Keep all these things, but remember where they stand. They are not solid evidence to say that he's talking to sperm. In fact, all the evidence is suggesting otherwise.
Well, the only one piece of evidence is that he used the word sperm earlier, and then didn't use that same word again later.
Exactly. So if you're going to say that it is sperm, you're kind of like up shit's creek without a paddle, yeah?
There are other cases in the Quran where like synonyms are used. Like Quran,
oh, sorry, I remember what I was
going to say. Lots of words that can mean the same thing, and like words have different meanings.
No, 100. I remember what I was going to say there, just before I forget it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've forgotten it again, so hold on. Okay, that's what you said, yeah? So you said, now, don't get me, yeah? Now, the next thing you got to do, yeah? Remember, the next thing you got to do, yeah? Is find out. That would be pretty impressive, yeah? But that is another topic now. Now we're going to find out, okay, is there a mystery liquid that is manifested or originated from that particular place? Hold up, wait. I know you're smiling, but that's another topic. Now, is the other sperm thing eradicated from your mind, or enough to suggest with my evidence to say that actually you've got a word for sperm, you used it multiple times, but here you choose whoever the author is in your case, yeah, not to call it that.
Right.
So that's
okay. But like, what if I could look at other instances in the Quran where kind of like, let's say the Quran wants to refer to tree, and so several times he uses one word for tree, then another time he uses another word for tree, then like that kind of reasoning.
Present it then.
Well, like okay, well, I have to look at it, but like
but I do get your thing. But that is, remember, I told you this. I said that's a pretty good one you've got. That's all you've got so far. You haven't got no actual thing where it's talking about sperm. But the way that hold on 1 minute. No. Don't infer it. Just stick to what's on the page.
But what's on the page is saying a light, like a water that you're.
But why does it
water gushing forth? Why does it sperm gushes forth from the penis, and you know, like, and yeah, I think kind of, I don't think it's like a why.
Even this word gushing, I don't even want to correct you. I don't even want to correct you on this gushing as well, because even that, there's multiple words for that. Origin, there's gushing, there's even ejaculation, to be fair.
Okay.
So there's lots of different. So again, go and research what I've said first, and then we'll go from there in the next stage.
We'll go
Because I have seen something, but it could be a bit pseudo to suggest that a drip is I haven't presented that. I haven't presented that because I don't know that yet. Yeah, but I can tell you that I have looked at that the evidence brought forward to suggest that sperm, and actually it's on the contrary.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Join me. Bro, can I ask some questions?
Yeah, of course.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about Islam. I'm not
Is
religious.
live at the moment?
Yeah, it's live, man.
Okay, sure.
It's not religious. But the guy I was talking to a second ago, he already left though. Yeah. He was talking about systems and people being in control. Like obviously, like everyone's like a tax slave and so on. So,
yeah.
Do you have an opinion on that sort of? There's a system that controls, or there's people that control the governments, or?
Oh right. Well,
and it's sort of
like I don't know if there's like an Illuminati or that sort of thing. Maybe there is to some degree, but like probably not like kind of. They probably don't have like total control, but like maybe they'd be able to like influence things a bit. So that I don't know that maybe that's the case. As for like whether people are in a system with taxes and stuff, I think yes, and like the system could be improved, but it like kind of I think capitalism works a lot better, has a better track record than socialism, and so it's. It's not so bad like paying taxes and having an NHS and having, roads that work and good utilities and that sort of thing. So it's not so bad.
What has there been a time when there's been a socialist, like people been living in a socialist time?
Yeah, like
when was that?
So like what I consider socialism would be. Socialism normally means like kind of when the people, or rather when the community, the population controls the means of production rather than private individuals, and means of production means basically companies. And so there have been like countries where kind of you've been prevented from like creating your own company and like earning the profits from that company and employing people, where that's all been carried out by the states, and that was the case in like the USSR and kind of some other countries. So I say that those were socialists.
Like a socialist, I would say count a socialist place to be. Well, I would say it's somewhere where the place was running for the people rather than for the gain of. A few
established, right?
At the top. So even though there might be the government might be saying, you can do this, you can't do that. It was more because, as I would have thought. I don't know about socialism and whatever, but I thought it would have been it would be more to improve all the people rather than to improve the shareholders.
Yeah, the thing is, like, an entire, a million people can't run a country. You need to, in the end, have, a few people running the country. And so lots of political systems are liable to have that kind of corruption incentivized, where the people who are in charge, make things better for themselves and their families and that sort of thing. So you can also ask, which system has been better at preventing corruption, kind of capitalist countries or socialist countries. And, it seems to be, I'd say that, kind of, in particular, Western European countries are, were much better at being kind of not corrupt than, kind of the socialist countries of the 20th century. And so, in theory, kind of, you can imagine a really good socialist system where it works really well, but we haven't seen it yet. So we need to kind of be a bit practical and kind of think about what's had the best track record so far, even though they're both imperfect. And I'd say what's had the best track record so far is kind of capitalist Western.
Well, you say that, but I mean, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, you might have been right, but. Look at the state of the Western capitalist countries now. They're imploding on themselves.
You'd still probably prefer to live in them than a lot of other places.
But for how long?
Well, you can only speculate on the future.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
We can't be certain that they're all going to kind of
things are swings and roundabouts, aren't they? They go up and down. Empires naturally, by their nature, fall, don't they?
Yeah.
And what's happening to the monetary system now? Look, Trump's. I mean, I get it. Back in the day, you could have said, we could go over there and civilize these people, and they're behind us. But now look over there. And the 5-0 are driving Lamborghinis.
Where are you talking about?
In a lot of the Middle Eastern countries.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That this system is falling apart by this. It's falling. It's getting ripped from the seams, bro.
Okay, but think of the two kind of objections that were brought up. One of them was corruption. One of them was kind of wealth inequality, or like kind of what was it? Wealth inequality? Yeah, or like the elites making things better for themselves.
Okay.
In those rich Middle Eastern countries, there's a lot more corruption than in Western Western European democracies, and there's also a lot more of like kind of the ruling kind of royal family kind of making things better for themselves, and like
We've got a royal family here. We're standing in a park.
That is true.
That's what
But they don't like the royal family here though. Like they do have unearned wealth and like unearned privilege, but they can't control the country. Like they are what's the word? Constitutional monarchies. They're basically figureheads.
They're like props.
They're just there to help.
They still earn off.
Yes,
and they get a ton of money.
Definitely. But like it's still if you're gonna have people with unearned wealth, it's better that those people don't have any political power, like our royal family, than they actually have ultimate power, like the Saudis or the Emirati kind of royal family, and they can like make it so easy, like if one of them runs over a maid or something, then they just pay blood money and they don't go to jail, that sort of thing. It's so much easier for that to happen in those countries than it would be here.
I know, but I'm pretty sure if someone else was standing here, they could start going through a whole plethora of things in the Western world that are not perhaps appealing to them.
True, like it's people can always like
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and it's hard enough.
I'm talking about economy. Like, what the fuck is going on with our economies right now? We're collapsing. We ain't shit. A pound's worth nothing.
Well, it's
bro.
still...
People that are in business are like really upset. All their stock is worth half. Or, you know what I mean? Like all their money that they have in the bank is worth half of what it was last year.
So, where has a stronger kind of economy?
You're saying one's more fucked up than the other.
But yeah, so where has a stronger economy than Western kind of countries? Like,
no, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you that at the moment, but we are falling apart. We are imploding, and it's not going to be long because of the nature. I mean, you are an atheist, right? So you believe in science and
I'm agnostic.
Okay, agnostic. Yeah. So you believe in science and nature and stuff like that. So the nature of empires is to rise and fall.
Yeah.
So what is happening with this empire right now? Are we at the point where the monetary system is about to collapse? In your opinion? I shouldn't even be. I'm the camera guy and I'm interviewing him. My bad. Go ahead.
I still think kind of if like maybe there's good reason to think that like China will become a lot stronger in the future, definitely, and also India. But like,
and that's the communist country, right?
Well, it's nominally communist. It's not really though, because if you look at the kind of the definition that I brought up of do the people own the means of production? In China, there are more billionaires than anywhere else in the world, and they're mainly kind of self-made. They created their company and they just sell steel or other things. Yeah, and so like and so China's like doing well because it's like becoming more capitalist and like not being as strict as like kind of the former USSR countries.
But it is a communist country though, right?
Well, it calls itself communist, but it doesn't actually apply socialism very much. It's just like it's just a sort of totalitarian regime.
In China, you're
it's
not
less socialist than many European countries.
Yeah.
There's less.
Mahomes dead already.
Mahomes is gone. Weak arm cuts.
Left arm,
The left arm, yeah. The right arm strong.
Nah, you're good. You're good. But there's always, what I'm trying to say is, every time you go there, there's another finger pointing at you. Then when you turn that corner, there's another finger pointing at you.
But the thing is, when you're talking about something in Speaker's Corner, you can only address one point at a time.
Yeah.
So you can't give like a comprehensive worldview. Like you can't give a lecture, or you can't like kind of and here's my manifesto, or here's my kind of well-researched paper. Here's my
you have come up with a manifesto though a few times.
3 years work and
be careful what questions you ask Jamie, because he might come back with an essay. Read it out on COE.
Good, you know.
But I'll probably kind of walk around and
there's no one left, man. There's no one left. That's it, Gan. I'm gonna film you walking around, because you're gonna go like this.
Jamie.
Oh yeah. He's gonna go like that.
Filming, you know what I mean?
So man.
It doesn't matter if there's nothing happening. You gotta keep filming.
Just keep filming.
Why don't you film Leon?
Just keep filming, man. It's confirmed, man. You know what I mean? I can't get the CEO. You know what I mean? Like, one of the CEOs. I'm one of the shareholders. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to keep my shares, and I want my shares to rise. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get my Rolls Royce fund on, right?
We got the guy, yeah, like, you know, like.
Jamie's gonna help
give
out
you
with the
better
Bentley
knowledge,
fund.
yeah. But the Hollywood
next, you know,
candidate is over there.
We're gonna
That's why
get
he's doubling up right now.
And then Modine's gonna give us the what's it called fund?
The likes and
Another rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna head off now. Yeah.
Jamie's gonna do a rap, yeah.
See you soon, yeah.
Jamie's smothered him.
I'll look into the wording of.
Please do, and go on the site and then go highlight the word, and then you know get interested and then come back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, just find out the 2 words. Why, you know, 'cause it's quite interesting not to use that word. And then on top of that, you use a anonymous.
Yo, live thing, yeah.
Can I answer?
Can I
answer?
Welcome, mate.
Okay, no, so answer the question.
Get the mask up, yeah?
You know, with the video,
Superhero mask
but you
on,
know,
yeah?
with the video, ego kicks in, innit? That's what it is, innit? You know,
superhero black shit, come on.
When he opens his mouth,
Intellectual.
when he opens his mask, he looks like a friendly face, fam.
No,
I'm trying to say he's got 2 different faces.
I got the same
face.
face.
When he opens mask, he's got a friendly face. Like, he don't even look like he's the person who says
wait.
You know what I'm saying? When he opens his mouth.
Our brother here's
friendly face, fam.
we say when he opens up the mask.
I'm like, this guy can't say Sunday Savage Monkey this.
Listen.
Nah, but
But he would say the same thing. What would you say if they cuss you? Well, explain the
no one cusses you like that, man. When you label like all the man them together, you get me?
Stop. What happened? How did it start?
No, I don't know how they start. All I saw you in the video, like.
All right.
this
So hold on. So let's look at it now, yeah? He hasn't seen how it started.
What's that?
But he thinks, I'm saying, we're not before. I was coming here for years, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying he basically has a right to be offended. That's what he said. Of course I'm offended. But I said to him, when I'm discussing...
Come on, bro.
Right.
Admitting together, innit?
Right? No, it's 4 different types. But anyway, I'm saying to you,
explain.
When I first come here, I'm debating with an atheist, right? I'm debating Christians, and I used to hear comments, but this specific one where the guy came up as I'm talking to the atheist. So the atheist saying, you're Bakari, and I said, I don't believe in that. Do you get me?
That's this the guy. Don't diss the whole thing, innit?
Let me, if you hear the story, right, so as I'm talking to him, a Sunni comes up and says, you're Rafida Shia Kafir. Do you understand?
Yeah, but you lose a lot of debates.
I haven't finished it. I've never, brother. Yeah, I lose a lot of debates.
I'm
talking to an atheist.
being genuine. Look, I'm being genuine.
Give me one debate I've ever lost. Give me one.
You're gonna start him off.
That's what I'm saying to you. They can say this, but they can never prove it. They can say this, but never prove it.
You don't want to leave now.
I can't leave now.
I can never prove it.
Bless you.
So what I'm saying to you is, when the Sunnis are coming in and calling me kafir, where's him and the rest of them say, no, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say that. Only when I respond now, do they say, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. So I'm saying, if you and people like you had told them to shut their mouth in the first
You're not
place,
competing with the
You
thing.
don't have to sound like cousins.
I wouldn't need to say that.
You sound like each other, really?
But you didn't see if a man thumping in your mouth,
Calm down, man. You're shouting, bro. When we shout, I can't listen.
Really? Am I shouting? All right.
You're shouting, fam. That's what I'm saying. If the camera comes and the light comes, ego kicks.
What's the ego got to do with it?
Yeah, man.
You
got racked up, man.
They're not genuine and
No, I don't even know.
The reason I wear it is
super chat.
to the exact opposite of what you say. That don't even make sense.
What's happening?
Yeah, no way, man. You know, man. You know, on cuz, man.
No.
It's
a simple thing. Yeah. If someone lick you and I only see you licking back, and I don't talk about no, it's not that, bro. It's not that at all. I'm saying if someone lick him, brother, you're not listening. Brother, pay attention. If someone lick him and we only see him lick back the man, would he? And we said, how can you lick him? What about the person licking him? Wouldn't he be saying, he hit me first? Yes or no? Yes or no? If someone hit you and we only saw you hit him back, no, it's exactly the same. Because you didn't see what they said to me continuously for me to have to say that.
Cool, but after that's done, say, Arjo,
what do you mean afterwards? It's every bloody week.
No, it's not, man. I see you in the camera, yeah?
You're not paying attention before you
random,
saw me on the camera.
Saying Sunni Savage. That's like you're including everyone together.
Do you see what I mean? He's not paying attention. You, brother, I've got the footage. I've got the footage.
No, you've got the footage.
I've got the
what
footage.
He's saying, yeah?
When
What he's saying is that he hears Sunni Savage monkey.
That's what he wants to hear.
Open your mask.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I gotta say, yeah. Muslim dons are the most sensitive guys, cuz you can't say nothing about them.
Who said that?
Who
said
what? Muslim what? No, that's what I said. I said that. I said that.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because we're upon the truth, innit?
No. It's a savage monkey. It's God, man.
Listen. It's very simple and straightforward. Muslims believe in justice, okay, as a principle. And I'm saying one of the things of justice. One of the things with justice.
Wait. God, replay that spud.
And now for hack us, pod.
And what I'm saying is, when it comes to justice, yeah, I want you to play it.
What you just said there made sense.
When it comes to justice, you have to investigate what's happening. So loads of other Sunnis that have been coming here, they've witnessed it and they know, and they say yes, but that's not me. That's why they don't criticize me for saying it, because they've witnessed it themselves. Just because I haven't put out, there's so much footage of these lot coming in kafir and calling me names.
Like Raj, yeah?
Right?
Raj got many footage of bare thing.
No.
Hey, no Raj. I
know about Raj.
When Raj puts out his mixtape.
What do you mean? I thought Raj puts up his stuff live.
When Raj puts out his no, you know when he puts out the body cam on.
Like he's carrying diapers and that. Like he's on leash in it. From Tommy Robinson got his
Raj got a rape alarm as well.
He's actually being serious.
Raj got a rape alarm, you know.
I've made my point that in relation to me,
don't rape him.
People know me. I'm a person, I don't trouble no one unless they trouble me. I'm a peaceful brother, that's why I get on bare brothers. If that was the case, that man would just come in there calling people Sunni, da.
Now when he opens his face, he's soul friendly.
Brother, I'm friendly anyway. I'm saying, how can bare Sunnis still give me salam? How can I be rolling with Sunnis if that's the case? It's common bloody sense that a person who's going to be continuously called names must in Islam defend yourself psychologically. And you notice how the Sunnis calm down a bit now. They start out with that kufar, Shia, kafir, because they know that I'll tell you something
that's
back.
because the scholars gave us advice, innit? The knowledgeable ones gave us advice saying this provocation and that, this needs to stop, innit?
Well, there you go.
The intellectual
because you know what, it's true though, man. You can see it's not gonna.
I know, you know what it is. Everyone needs to understand
sides,
mutually, innit? Everyone needs to
What I'm
understand.
saying is, Shia brothers come to me and said, Isa, you know, you said it enough. Sunni brothers that are good said the same thing. The other,
when they're coming down,
brothers from gangs said the same thing.
Wait, pause, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
When the racist dons come down to move to man, yeah, they didn't say, right, you're Shia, you're Kafir, you're so-and-so, you're so-and-so.
Some of them has said to me, but I hear you. But you're talking about the big time.
Yeah. When the first time when man come down, they said, nah, bro.
But you know what?
They said, you're who?
I saw a video of the EDL lot came, yeah? I saw you, yeah.
Go on,
I saw you, yes.
Just your finger, fam.
Do you know what I was saying?
Do you know what? No, let me finish that. I saw you, yeah, running up to one of the EDL guys and go to straight away. You said, yeah, this thing been going on for 1400 years. The Sunni, it's a Sunni lot. It's a Sunni lot. You're colouring the Sunni lot, like doing the madness in the park when they came back. You know the slow down. Now,
here's something very clear. Listen. If I say listen, I want you to listen very carefully. Yeah.
Break it down.
I say it blatant and clear. Sunniism is not Islam. Okay, this is my claim. So when they're telling me, because a Sunni done this and a Sunni done that, you think I'm gonna not make a distinction? But when they talk about
saying that, you made the division,
wait, stop. The division's already there. The division.
They don't care.
When the Shias are beating themselves,
division,
when the Shias are beating themselves, and people say, look at what these mad people do you think a Sunni like him or any other Sunnis can say, yeah, that's our Muslim brothers? They're gonna say, no, that's the Shias. So how come when Sunnis behave like crazy people, I'm going to say, yeah, they're my Muslim brothers, but they behave crazy? I'm going to say, no, that's crazy Sunnis.
When the racist lot come, we drop everything and we go for,
Bro, if someone come to attack me, I'm going to defend myself. But I'm saying,
everything.
No, here's the problem. Here's the problem. What are they coming at? For instance, if they've received racism from Pakistanis predominantly, I'm saying, well, so have black people. So therefore, how can I side with racist Pakistanis or Bangladeshis against white people when you've been racist to both of us?
What do you mean racist Bangladeshi?
I'm saying to you,
Pakistanis, man. Now you just coloured us with racism, fam. Come on.
What, you think that's something new to black people?
When
we go to the masjid, Bangladeshi Sunnis, Pakistani Sunnis, big racism. Are you trying to say?
What are you talking about?
Are you trying to say it's not there?
No, it's not, fam. I didn't see that in.
Oh my God.
You haven't seen that because you're not black, bro.
Hold on. Bruv, there's
I've seen
Pakistanis.
it in my mosque.
Bruv, clear. I can't even believe this guy's trying to deny it, bro.
Any mosque that I go to.
What's the racism? Go on, I'm learning. Go on, talk.
The way how they... Alright, I'll give you the scenario. So imagine one time, right?
Oh,
One
yeah,
time I
man's
must have
bad.
been praying in it in Salah.
Yeah.
And you know the deal in it. Every man shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah.
feet to feet in it.
Yeah.
I looked at a brother. I said to him, bro, come with me in it.
Yeah.
He looked at me like that. Bear man, he acknowledged there was space in it, but man looked at me like that, shook his head.
But you know, schools.
But
you know,
that might not be
schools of thought.
racism.
But you
That
know,
might be racism.
no, you know, schools of thought. Bro,
It might not be. It might not be. It might not be.
Listen.
Because they don't want you to bring what they see it is a lot of the elders, especially. They see it as you lot bringing your Wahhabi. This is how they see it. They think you're. Listen. Brother, listen.
They don't do that. Yeah,
That's
Mama
not
knows.
racism.
Mama
No.
knows. There's school of thought here.
What it is, the
Yeah.
Hanafis
It's not
especially,
racism thing.
they think you lot are bringing the Salafiism to impose on them. That's not racism. I'm talking about where we've experienced. Brother, listen what I'm saying. When you try and jam up your foot next to a man.
No, jam up the foot.
Listen.
There's a massive gap. Wait.
School of thought. Some people pray like that. Some people pray like that. And some people go feet to feet.
No, I'm not trying to say feet to shoulder. I'm saying there's a fat gap.
Because you mentioned shoulder, you mentioned that.
My bad.
Okay.
You need
That's
to
what I meant.
stand next to me, you know, cuz. And move when I move.
Brother, I hear you. What I'm saying is, regardless
You
of
know
that
them ones.
because a lot of people mention that.
Yeah.
What I'm
trying to
saying
keep up,
is,
trying to keep couple
you
man
know,
off camera
it's
and
not a
then
thing.
shit.
I can't even believe we're still discussing it, fam. There was a guy that came out in Birmingham, and he said on the street, brothers, we're not black. Do you remember that? Do you remember that speech?
No, brother.
Do you remember that? Brothers, we're not black.
No, I've had that from earlier.
What the hell? There's black people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Don't walk black. Stop talking black. Like black. And all these lot are in the crowd. No one's saying, who are you talking about? There's black Muslims opposite him. A black Muslim came and talked after him. Bro, the man then gave an apology which was worse than the original garbage he came out with. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hey, wait. Someone's made a channel called Mo Dean's Curly Wig.
Not just that. For some reason, you know I heard it.
Give salams to certain man then.
Yeah. That's one of the things you can see in racism.
Masjid. I've been in masjid. And
Put man's hand
the
up.
other brothers are like,
Huh?
brothers.
Oh,
We're not certain brothers.
No, he's not white.
Forget that, brother. Listen, we don't need to. Listen, what do you call a Carla Shidi? Do you call a Carla? Do you call a Carla Banda? Carla Shidi. Eh? What do you? Hold on,
You get that look as well.
What do you lot call us?
What do you mean?
I'm saying the racists among you. What do you call us? Carla Shidi.
Khala Shidi? What?
Carla.
Yeah, that means black.
Yeah.
Kalabanda, so about that.
Kalabanda.
What?
Kalabanda.
There is none of these words before. You say Khalabai. We're a black brother.
No, not by Banda, monkey. Khalabai, No.
That's it.
Listen.
You're Bengali, innit?
Yeah.
I know, bro.
Listen.
But no, Bengalis diss each other like that. Is what you get. When it comes to this, that's a different thing.
No. We're talking about.
Even if they do, I'm just saying.
They do. Because listen, we was in the masjid when I was a Sunni, yeah? We used to hang with a lot of Bengali brothers, right? In the masjid. And there was a dark, Bengali come in. And I go, see, black people were the first Bengalis. He had big lips and broad nose, yeah, we all bust out laughing. They did say the thing you're saying, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, even though they may say it among themselves, I'm saying they are anti-black in their culture. And I'm saying Sunnism nurtures it. Bro,
it's more cultural.
Exactly.
Bengalis are more culture, like, how am I supposed to say? Like, I can't even.
You have a Hindu culture, don't you?
No, it's
your
mixed.
background is Hindu.
Exactly. Ancestors were Hindus.
Exactly. And I'm saying with that, it's a bit. Do they use the cream to make them skin white?
Nah, man, no Bengalis do that, bro.
Brother, come on,
A
it's
lot
not
of
your
people do
culture.
that.
Nah, that's more India, man. That's
Listen,
more Hindu India.
Not for 2,000 years, fam. They've had that for 2,000 years in India.
Look, my dad was.
That's in the Kama Sutra. Go look at the Kama Sutra ingredients. It tells you how to bleach your skin with herbs.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's India. I know of India cast.
I'm saying it's handed, bro. When they get married, what's their culture?
Hey, man's gonna lock it off though.
They marry according to
the wife, the missus takes off the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It's more cultural like that.
Anyway, that's the reality. Where we going?
Yeah, what you man saying though?
Which culture are you?
Cool G Rizzy rap.
That's a rap.
What you say? You wanna rap the thing up? Rap the thing up.
At the end of the day,
man.
All I'm saying, like, Bengalis ain't racist.
Oh, stop it, fam. Stop it.
You get not all Bengalis racist. You can't at least say that. Not all
I'm wrong. I meant to say, Bengalis who learn about Islam, they're racist. But if they're too cultural, nothing about the deen, they could be racist. We don't know. Everyone's different.
The Bengali
So I said that
culture
first statement
is
is wrong. Let me clear
anti-dark
it.
complexion. Simple as that. And therefore it's anti-black.
So is that in
Simple
your
as
class
that.
system though?
Is that your right?
1 and 1
Is that
equals
who you
2.
are,
Stop
then?
pretending mathematics don't work.
What that's
Quick maths.
it's in India. I know that's
Come
in
on, bro.
India.
Let's go.
Man,
let's go.
Ramen, you saying you want to wrap something? Got any last final words for the man? Then? Bless you.
Unity amongst all of us.
Qualification's always good,
Understanding
innit?
each other.
That's it.
Man, then?
Game done.
Guys?
Come on now, stop playing games.
Yeah? Alright. Yeah, we're gonna done now, yeah? Shout out all the people in the chat them.
He'll probably call you before that.
41 likes. Tap up the likes, man. Tap up the likes. Yeah, man. You said tap up the likes. Yeah, man, I'm ready, man. Alright, we'll look this off. It's still on, bro. Yeah, it's still streaming, man.
Wrapping up with that. How much?
Alright, jump onto the other COE stream, cause I'm gonna lock this one off.
Let's go over there, man. How long we got left?